right, good morning, everybody. This is Judge Wish. It's December 2nd, 2020. This is BRC 1. Can I have the parties announce themselves for the record, please?
Good morning, Edith Bush for the Office of the State Attorney.
James Thompson on behalf of the Office of the Public Defender.
Okay, and anybody in the gallery, if you're going to testify today, if you could please stand and raise your right hand. So if you're a witness in any case today and you're going to testify, please stand and raise your right hand for me. Nobody's testifying? Anybody? Okay. All right. Raise your right hand for me. Do you swear to, everybody, if you're going to testify, raise your right hand. I see people standing and not raising their hands.
He may need an interpreter.
Okay, we asked if anybody needed an interpreter.
He said no fault.
All right. Keep your hand raised. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I need affirmative. Okay, it's hard to see your mouths because all our mouths are covered, but okay. Thank you. You can be seated. And it's very important when you come into the witness box. It's really hard to hear right now, especially with masks on. So I would ask that you please get as close to the microphone as possible and speak as loudly as possible so that we can all hear you. It's very important that we're able to hear what you're saying, okay? We don't want to have to keep repeating ourselves. All right?
Your Honor, you're looking for the plea form for Raymond Lopez?
I don't need the plea form. I just need Mr. Lopez to sign a plea form and know that his attorney downtown went over it with him. And obviously, this is an agreed upon plea, so.
Yeah, I have it signed.
Okay, that's great.
You want me to email it to you, or?
You have the signed plea form?
Yeah, but it was emailed to me.
Oh, we don't have a hard copy. Okay, I mean, we can print it out, but if he can sign, is it the same plea form that we use down here?
Yeah.
Okay,
So I can email it to Edie. And
that's fine. I mean, it's just not an original, but that's fine. As long as he went over it. Did the attorney sign it as well?
if she didn't, I'll sign it.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you tell me your name?
Michael Wilbur.
All right, Mr. Wilburn, you're here on an out-of-county warrant out of Broward County. The judge did set your bond at none in Broward County. I'm gonna appoint the public defender's office here based on our administrative order, and we'll reach out to Broward County as well. But you'll have the public defender to discuss your case with, and they may come and pick you up fairly quickly. With the pandemic, it's a little slower, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, good morning.
Good morning.
Can you tell me your name?
Raymond Lopez.
Okay, Mr. Lopez, you're here for a plea, and this was an agreed-upon plea. I'm taking the plea for Judge Dubois.
Can I have a moment, Your Honor?
Sure.
We're getting the plea form right now, Your Honor.
Okay.
It'll be 1 minute.
I can't print anything because I don't have a working printer, so it'd be great if somebody could print it or email it to Madam Clerk. Okay, so Mr. Lopez, you're here in 2020 MM 864. You were charged by information with criminal mischief. That's a misdemeanor of the second degree. And it's my understanding that you wish to withdraw your previously entered plea of not guilty and enter a plea of no contest?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And that's to the offense of criminal mischief. And it's my understanding that the offer is an adjudication of guilt, 60 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 60 days time served. There's $586 in restitution. There'll be court costs and cost of prosecution, and I would give you a year to pay everything off,
Thank you, Your Honor.
okay? Was there anything else that I'm unaware of that is not something that I just mentioned? Was that your understanding of everything that was
Yes, Your
going to
Honor.
happen today? Okay, Mr. Thompson?
Yes, everything.
Okay.
Just as you said.
Do you
Okay.
need him to re-sign it?
No, everything's signed.
Okay. And so is that your signature on the plea form right there?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you go over the plea form with your attorney? No, I know you didn't go over it with Mr. Thompson, but,
I went over it with my attorney.
okay, and that was at the jail here?
Yes, Your
Okay.
Honor.
And did they answer any questions that you had about the plea form?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand all those constitutional rights that you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol or medication that might prevent you from understanding what's happening right now?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. And are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
And I do have a copy of the arrest affidavit. I have reviewed that. I do find that there's a factual basis to accept your plea. Are you on probation anywhere?
No, I do have a felony coming up for the plea has probation on
Okay,
it.
but you're not currently on probation?
Not currently on probation, no,
Okay.
Your Honor.
And do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And again, I do find there's a factual basis to accept your plea based on what was in the affidavit in the court file. And so I will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 60 days with credit for 60 days time served. There is restitution in the amount of $586, and that's to the victim in the case. There's cost of prosecution and court costs. And I'm going to give you till December 2nd, 2021 to pay that off.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. If you'd like to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. Was there anything else anyone wanted to place on the record as it relates to the plea for Mr. Lopez?
Nothing from the state, Your
Okay.
Honor.
That's from the defense,
Okay.
Your Honor.
And then, Ms. Bush, did you have, you have a restitution form?
I will look for it.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Lopez.
Thank
Good
you, Your
luck to
Honor.
you.
Your Honor, I'm going to have to generate one. I will
Okay, that's fine.
provide it to the court. Just a bit.
All right, good morning. Tell me your name.
Richard Singleton.
Mr. Singleton, you're here on a Palm Beach County warrant. The judge in Palm Beach did set your bond at none. I'm going to appoint the public defender here pursuant to our administrative order, so you have somebody to talk to about your case while you're here. They should come and get you fairly quickly, but we'll also reach out to Palm Beach County as well, okay?
Yeah, I talked to the detectives yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just with the pandemic, the transportation is a little, it's not as consistent, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
They'll come and get you, though. All right, and then now we're with Spanish.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Laura Bretaña, Spanish interpreter. The interpreter has already been sworn.
Good morning, and we are in BRC 1, and the defendant is at the podium with the headphones on, so just let me know when you've made contact.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sí.
There is contact, Your Honor.
Okay, good morning, sir. Tell me your name, please.
Jaime Santana.
Jaime Santana.
Mr. Santana, you're here in case number 2020 CF 13218AO. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant. Probable cause was found for aggravated stalking after an injunction and a violation of an injunction. And I will appoint the public defender to represent you in your case. You're not to have any, oh, sorry, ma'am. Hi, good morning. I didn't see you there. And you were sworn in? Do you
Yes.
need the interpreter?
Yeah. No.
No? Okay. All right. Can you tell me your name and spell your last name for me, please?
My name is Natalie Duran Villanueva.
All right. Miss Duran Villanueva, Ms. Bush, did you wish to inquire?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
I may have just one moment.
Sure.
I think I need to sneeze,
You have to sneeze?
which is difficult. in
Say
a
if you say cucumber, it will stop you from sneezing.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a thing. Yeah. I don't know.
All right. Thank you. Good morning, is it Miss Villanueva?
Duran.
Okay. What is your relationship with Mr. Santana?
We used to be.
Get a little bit closer to the
We
mic.
used to be. We used to live together for 9 years, and we have both 2 kids together.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you said that you used to live together.
Yes.
So you all live apart now?
Yes.
And are you afraid of him?
No.
You have to verbally.
No. No.
Okay. And do you want to have contact with him while this case is pending?
Yeah. I don't have. I can answer more than that.
I'm sorry?
I can answer more than that.
Yes.
Yes, I don't have any problems having contact with him right now.
And do you believe that alcohol or any kind of substance contributed to his behavior on this particular date?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not. I can't say because that I know he's not a drinker or he's
Okay.
never used drugs.
All right.
So no.
And over the course of the 9 years that you were together,
Yeah.
has there ever been any violence in your relationship?
We did have some episodes. That's why basically I ended
How
the
long
relationship.
ago was the prior episode?
It was like on September 2019 before I.
Okay, so
Yeah.
within the past year, well, within the past 2019
Yeah.
was the last episode.
Yeah.
And was that this episode?
No.
No.
I ended the relationship. I left him on November 2019.
Okay.
After that, we were being separate. He moved out of the house. But we did have issues like, he didn't stop looking for me and he was stalking me and,
Okay.
I have to have an injunction on him and all that.
Okay.
Yes.
And if something like this were to happen again, would you be comfortable calling law enforcement?
Yeah.
And do you have any concerns for the children's safety around him?
No.
I appreciate your responding, thank you.
No.
Mr. Thompson?
No questions, Your Honor.
Okay. And so, Ms. Duran Villanueva, I'm reading the injunction now. I can't modify it to allow contact other than what's already in the injunction, okay? So it's my understanding that based on what is in the injunction is that there is no contact other than the fact that he is able to go to the residence while you're not present for the purpose of picking up the children.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
That's why basically I came here. Like, I moved recently from Orange County. I have another address. I went to the court and I update my address and everything. I put my ID and everything. On October 2nd, I went there because of the court, I'm saying, because we had 2 court dates coming that month. So I went there and I asked for cancel the hearings because
See that.
all this happens on the summer. After that happened, he stopped bothering me. He stopped talking to the kids about me and stuff like that. He stopped asking for me to the kids. and it was a continuous behavior, so I feel comfortable like canceling everything.
I can't, you're
No.
gonna have to file a motion with the judge
Yeah,
for the injunction if you want that to be, dismissed.
yeah.
But I can't do that, and I can't override what's in the injunction, okay?
Okay.
I can either order no contact and say that the injunction, he's not allowed to go to the home, but basically you're saying that since this incident happened back in July and August,
Yeah.
that he's stopped doing the things that he was doing, okay, that were bothering you, okay,
Yeah.
in violation of the injunction.
Completely.
So what I'm gonna do is, I'm going to order that, let me ask you a question. What, in terms of contact, am I correct that the only contact that he has is to pick up the children
Yes, and
from the home and you're not to be present and that's on specific dates?
yes.
Okay. Are you communicating through any type of, like a talking parents app, or how do you communicate about the children?
We had a motion, I submit a motion before. I don't know why you don't have it there. That we can communicate by email, just about the kids. That's the way that we communicate. But actually, the motion is there and it's official, and they send it to me by mail and
I'm
everything.
showing that it was modified as to communication regarding children issues only through email and/or the Talking Parents app. Okay, I
Yeah.
just see that now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to allow only that contact that was that was allowed by the judge
Okay.
in the modified injunction. Okay, so if you are comfortable with that at this point, since it's been since July and August and he's not doing the things that, you wanted him to stop doing, okay? So I'm gonna say abide by the injunction, and you can have contact as it relates to the children through email and the Talking Parents application as it relates to 2020 DR 5097-0. Mr. Santana, no weapons or firearms or ammunition, which is also part of the injunction, okay? Do you understand that everything will remain the same as it is in the injunction? I need a verbal answer.
Sí.
Okay,
Falta. Yes.
okay. And then, ma'am, do you as well understand that everything will maintain the same as what it is in the injunction? Is that what you want?
Yes, I
Okay.
understand.
And as I stated, I can't change anything, so if you want it to be modified, you're gonna have to go downtown and file any motions that need to be filed, okay?
Thank you.
I do see that you did do a change of address. I'm not sure if that actually got changed in the court file, because there was some returned mail. So you may wanna go to the clerks again and see if they've actually updated your address, okay? So I'm also just going to order that he's not to go to your place of employment. Okay? I know
Yes.
that you said that he stopped doing that, but don't go to her place of employment, okay? And I think is there anything else that you wanted to tell me?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So as it relates to bond, I'm going to set bond on count 1 at 1,500, count 2 at 100. Okay? All right. Thank you, sir. All right. Good morning. Can you tell me your name, please?
Adonis Manuel Horta Rivera. Adonis Manuel Horta Rivera.
Adonis Manuel Horta Rivera.
All right, so you're here in case number 2014 CF 13872. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant for a violation of probation. The judge did set your bond at none. Did you want me to, And so you did fill out a form for the public defender. You qualify. I'll appoint them to represent you in your case. You'll see Judge Whitehead in a couple days for an arraignment, okay? Thank you, sir. And then this is a Haitian Creole case, but, so I don't think we have any other Spanish, correct?
That's correct. Your
Okay, and then Madam Interpreter, I see very few people out in the gallery, but if you could just make an announcement, if anybody needs the interpreter to please raise their hand for me.
¿Alguna de las personas que se encuentran en la sala necesita el intérprete en español? De ser así, por favor, levante la mano.
Okay, I don't see any hands raised. Thank you so much for your help today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, and then we're waiting on the Creole.
Correct.
Okay, I'll put that aside. All right, good morning, sir. Tell me your name.
My name is Ramon de la Cruz.
All right, Mr. Dela Cruz, you're here in case number 2020 CF 14297AO. You were arrested for aggravated battery, domestic violence. I do find that there is probable cause. Do we have a PD form for Mr. Dela Cruz? Did you fill out a form, Mr. Dela Cruz, for the public defender?
No, ma'am.
No?
I was
Okay, are you
looking-
hiring your own attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to order that you have no contact directly or indirectly with any victim or witness. I'll have you sign the no contact order.
No problem.
Do you understand everything on the order, sir?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
You're to maintain a separate residence. You're not to return back to Fuji Sushi at 504 North Alafaya Trail. You're not to possess weapons, firearms, or any ammunition. And I am placing you on pretrial release. Make sure you don't violate those court orders or pretrial release, okay?
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, tell me your name, please.
Thomas Hilson.
Mr. Hilson, you're here in 2020 CF 14318AO. You were arrested for aggravated battery on a pregnant person. I do find that there is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in your case. You're not to have any contact directly or indirectly with the victim. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything on the order, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You're to maintain a separate residence. You may return one time with law enforcement to get your personal belongings. You're not to possess weapons, firearms, or any ammunition. Your bond is set at $2,500.
All right.
Thank you, sir. Good morning. Tell me your name.
Benjamin Mathurin.
All right, so you're here in case number 2020 CF 14314AO. You were arrested for battery with one prior battery conviction. There is probable cause, and I will appoint the public defender to represent you. I am ordering no contact directly or indirectly with the victim. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything on the order?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And you're going to maintain a separate residence. You are not to return back to the 120 McQuigg Avenue, okay? No weapons or firearms or any ammunition. And your bond is set at $1,500. Thank you, sir.
Is this a domestic violence? Your Honor. I don't even live at that address. How is that domestic violence? There's no relationship between me and that person. That's what I understand. This is...
Mr. Thompson, so it's alleged that you
This is not. There's no intimate relationship
That
between
it
me.
was, that you were the victim's boyfriend of 1 year. So this is a battery with one prior battery. I guess there may have been a prior, this is an add-on, so I think it relates to the other cases that you have, and then they discovered that you have a prior conviction, so they upgraded any charges,
So
I
it's the
believe.
same charge. So it's the same case.
I'm not sure, but this is alleged to have occurred on 11/24/2020.
Because they already charged me battery on the initial charge. That's what I'm saying.
On 11/24?
Right.
Right, so now they've discovered that you have a prior battery conviction, so they've upgraded the offense,
Okay.
okay?
So it's not a new
Mr.
charge.
Thompson, do you want to explain? I don't want him to say anything that he may regret. Huh? Okay.
All right, thank you.
Okay, and we have the Creole interpreter on the line? No, not yet. Oh, I thought you said she was ready. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay, all right. Good morning, tell me your name.
Good morning. My name is Anthony Nichols.
All right, Mr. Nichols, you're here in 2020 CF 14264. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant. Probable cause was found for aggravated assault with a firearm, domestic violence. And I don't have do we have a form for Mr. Nichols?
And Your Honor, am I able
Didn't fill one out?
to say something?
Well, hold on, I don't want you to say anything. Are
ma'am.
you gonna hire your own attorney?
I contacted my mom about my attorney. He was supposed to be here today.
Okay.
Mr. Agberia was supposed to be here today, but
Who?
Mr. Agberia, he's an Haitian lawyer.
He's a what?
A Haitian lawyer.
A Haitian lawyer,
Oh,
but I guess
okay.
I'll represent myself for today.
Well, do you want me to reset the case for tomorrow?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Okay, all right. So, but you've indicated you've hired an attorney, or your family has?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right, so I won't appoint the public defender, and so, Mr. Nichols, I'm ordering that you have no contact directly or indirectly with any victim or any witness in the case. I'll have you sign the no contact order. If you want that modified, your attorney will have to file a motion to modify that in the trial division.
Okay, may I also ask, Your Honor, there was no victims in here. I was not caught with no fire.
I don't want you to, what you're doing right now is you're
I'm-
talking on the record, and we're being
Okay.
recorded.
Yes, ma'am. I thought I was
Everything that
asking.
you
Yes,
say can
ma'am.
be used against you, so you're better
Yes,
off
ma'am.
just talking to your attorney about it and not me and not in open court, okay? So as I stated, if you want to modify the no contact order, you're gonna have your attorney file a motion in the trial division to
And may I
modify
ask
that.
who in this, there's nobody stated in, that I have,
Do you need a copy of the warrant?
I just need to know the people who I can't be in contact
Okay,
with.
we'll print a copy of the warrant for you. Okay, Madam Clerk, if you could do that for me? Thank you. All right, you're gonna have to maintain a separate residence. You're not to return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred. And so, I'm not sure if you actually live there or do not live there.
I don't live there. That's just my mother's house. I just
Okay,
wanted
so
to,
you're not to return back there. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms or any ammunition. If you have any weapons or any firearms or any ammunition, you must surrender them within 6 hours of your release from the Orange County Jail. Now, it's alleged that there's multiple victims in the case, but they've only charged you with one count of the domestic violence aggravated assault, okay? So, but it's no contact with any victims or witnesses, okay?
okay, also, Your Honor, can I say this one thing?
I don't want you to talk about the facts of the case,
I was gonna ask you something,
okay?
but it's fine. I'm good. It's okay.
Mr. Thompson, as a friend of the court, do you want to see if he has a question that, I just don't want him, he's starting to talk about a lot of things, so. Okay, oh, was your question answered?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
so your bond is set at 3,500.
3,500?
Yes, sir.
So I have to pay 10% of that, which would be
You'll have to call a bondsman, and they'll.
Yeah.
I can't give you any legal advice.
Hold on. Hey.
Hi, this is Bill. Hi, this is the office. Okay, we have Good morning, this is Judge Wish. Is this the Haitian Creole interpreter?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Have you been sworn in today?
I have not.
Okay, can you raise your right hand to be sworn in? Do you swear to translate from English to Haitian Creole and Haitian Creole to English to the best of your ability?
I do. Isabel de Rosa, Court Interpreter Creole.
Okay. And if you could just introduce yourself to the defendant for me so I know that he understands you.
Bonjour, monsieur, c'est interprète créole moyen. M'a traduit ça qu'a fait là, je dis à pour.
Yup.
Yeah.
Will you let him know that if he's going to use the interpreter, that he needs to speak in Haitian Creole as well?
OK. Si vous observez avec un interprète, vous avez besoin de parler créole net, OK? OK.
All right. Sir, can you please tell me your name?
Jean-Vélé, monsieur.
Lance Loeffler Perry.
Lance Lafleur Perry. Sorry. Perry.
Okay, sir. You're here in case number 2020 MM 8551AO.
Oui, c'est à monsieur Pouka 20 MM 8551 AO.
You were arrested for possession of drug paraphernalia and possession
J'étais
of
arrêté. Sorry.
and possession of cannabis less than 20 grams.
Il était arrêté pour, parce qu'il était attiré pour faire drogue sous et il était cannabis sous moins que 20 grammes.
I do find that there is probable cause for those offenses.
Moi, je vois que j'ai assez d'évidence pour moi accepter bagage ça.
Ms. Bush, are you proceeding forward on count 2?
Yes, Your Honor, and also I'd like to give him an opportunity to avail himself of the diversion program, which only intake can put him through.
Il dit que oui, que l'a continué avec deuxième accusation, mais que l'État voulait bon chance continuer avec programme diversion.
And so that's something that he would have to do downtown.
Yes, Your Honor, that recommendation would be done by downtown.
On bagage que vous avez besoin de faire dans la ville là.
All right. Mr. Lenza Flor, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance.
Que monsieur Lafleur m'a quitté au sorti sous bon nom.
You're not to possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription.
Ou pas capable de prendre drogue ou bien alcool, à moins qu'on ait une prescription docteur pour prendre quelques médicaments.
Did you want me to appoint the public defender to represent you in your case?
Est-ce que vous voulez pour juge la bonne défense publique pour représenter ou dans le cas?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I'll appoint them to represent you. I'm going to order that you get in touch with them within 24 hours of your release so they know how to locate you, okay?
Ma défense publique pour représenter, m'a demandé que 24 heures, dans une limite de temps de 24 heures après que vous sortiez de prison, contactez Mounio. OK?
Okay.
All right, thank you, sir.
Merci, monsieur.
Thank you, Madam Interpreter.
You're welcome. Is that the only one?
That is it.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I just want to call.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you tell me your name?
My name is Jeremiah Sullen.
Mr. Solon, you're here in 2020 CF 14317AO. You were arrested for aggravated assault, domestic violence. There is probable cause. Do we have a form for Mr. Solon? No, Mr. Sullen, did you fill out a public defender affidavit?
No, ma'am,
Okay, are you
'cause-
gonna hire your own attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, I'm ordering that you have no contact directly or indirectly with any victim or witness. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything on it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you're to maintain a separate residence. You may return one time with law enforcement to get any personal belongings that you need. No weapons, firearms, or any ammunition. If you have any weapons or firearms or any ammunition, you must surrender them within 6 hours of any release from the jail. I am placing you on pretrial release. Make sure you comply with the court order as well as pretrial.
Okay, see, that's the question. My phone is, you said that you giving me a pretrial release, right? So I'll be leaving after this?
They're going to process you out. You're talking about what's in your property?
Yeah.
You'll get your property.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Good morning. Tell me your name.
Jaquan is here.
Mr. DeSierra, you're here in 2020 MM 8545AO. You're arrested for assault and criminal mischief. There is probable cause for those offenses. I'll appoint the public defender. You also have 2020 MM 8546AO. That's battery, dating, violence. There is probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. On the first case, which is not domestic, I'm ordering that you have no contact directly or indirectly with any victim or witness. You're not to return back to the Walmart at the 5559 Clarkona Ocoee Road. That's the Walmart neighborhood store. And no weapons or firearms or any ammunition. And then you've also got on the dating violence, I'm gonna have you sign a no contact order form on that case, and that's no contact directly or indirectly with any victim or any witnesses in the case. Do you understand everything on that order?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You're not to return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred, so that Walmart. No weapons or firearms or any ammunition. I am placing you on pretrial release, sir. Make sure you comply with my order as well as pretrial release.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning. Tell me your name.
Jesse Majors, ma'am.
Mr. Majors, you're here in 2020 MM 8544AO. You're arrested for dating violence battery. There is probable cause. And I will appoint the public defender to represent you. I am ordering that you have no contact directly or indirectly with any victim. I'll have you sign the no contact order.
Yes,
Do you
ma'am.
understand everything on the order, sir?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay. You're also not to return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred.
Yes, ma'am.
No weapons or firearms or any ammunition. And I am placing you on pretrial release, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Place me on pretrial.
Good morning. Tell me your name.
Good morning. My name is.
Keep the mask on, sir.
Okay,
We're-
sorry. Good morning. My name is Theodis Manuel.
Mr. Emmanuel, you're here in 2020 MM 986AW. You're arrested for domestic violence battery. I do find that there is probable cause. Do we have a form for Mr. Emmanuel? Did you fill out a public defender affidavit?
Yes, I have it in my hand. I haven't filled it out yet.
Oh, you haven't?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Did you want me to see if you qualify for the public defender?
No, I ain't really think that I needed one.
Okay, well, it's always good to have an attorney if you're being charged criminally with an offense. It's up to you whether you want me to see if you qualify or not. You can always decide later if you want to have an attorney.
All right. Yes, ma'am. Is the attorney free?
Well, it's a $50 application fee,
Okay.
so you'll have to pay that at the end of the case.
Okay.
It's not something that you'd have to pay for right now.
Okay. Is
But
that
otherwise, if you don't have an attorney, the judge downtown would have to make a decision whether you are qualified to represent yourself or you'll have to go out and hire an attorney, or you can decide later if you want to see if you qualify for the public defender.
Okay, yes, ma'am. That's all I have to pay is the $50?
Well, if that's what you're hung up on, it's not today.
Right.
So there are costs associated with your case depending on how far it goes in the system, and defense costs that may be imposed later on. But it's much cheaper than hiring your own attorney, but I don't know if you qualify because you haven't filled out a form.
Right, yes, ma'am.
So that's why I would ask you some questions.
Okay.
So what do you want to do?
I'll take the public defender.
I can't hear you.
I'll take the public defender, please.
Okay, let me see if you qualify. Do you work?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And do you get paid weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly?
On weekly,
And then what is your paycheck after taxes every week?
like 600.
Is it always 600?
Yeah.
After taxes?
Sometimes it varies. Sometimes it be 7. Sometimes it be 6. It's on various.
Okay.
It depends on how many hours I
Do
get
you
in
have
per
any
week.
dependents?
Yes, I have a son.
How old?
He's 3 years old. He just turned 3.
Okay, does he live with you?
Yes, he do.
Okay, I think you'll qualify for the public defender, and I'll appoint them to represent you, okay? Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Were you sworn in earlier?
I don't think
No,
so.
can you raise your right hand to be sworn in? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and thank you, I just need you to do that every time you talk. It's really uncomfortable, I know, but speak into the microphone for me, I know, and you got a kid there, so he gets a little, I can't see him, but I know he's there. Okay, can you tell me your name and spell your last name for me, please?
Renee Penny and Penny.
Where Daddy at?
Okay, and Miss Bush, did you wish to inquire?
Yeah.
Good morning, Miss Penny.
Oh,
I'm over here. Hi there. You're going to talk into the microphone.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good
What is
morning.
your relationship with Mr. Manuel?
That's my baby father, my boyfriend.
And do you all live together?
We live in separate houses.
Okay. Are you afraid of him?
No.
How long have you been together with him?
Like 5 years.
And over the course of those 5 years, has there been any prior violence in your relationship?
No.
Do you believe that alcohol or any kind of controlled substance might have contributed to his behavior?
No.
And if something like this were to happen again, and you felt that your safety or your son's safety was jeopardized, would you call law enforcement?
Yes.
And while this case is pending, do you want to have contact with Mr. Manuel?
Yes.
Okay, I have no further questions. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Thompson, any questions for Miss Penny?
No questions, Your Honor.
Okay, and Miss Penny, I'm confused because it's showing that you all live in the same residence.
We don't. I be staying with him, but my address is not his address.
Okay, all right. So you do want contact and you're not in fear?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna allow you to have contact, Mr. Manuel.
Yes,
It's
ma'am.
non-hostile, non-violent contact. Yes.
Yeah,
I don't want you to talk about what happened or didn't happen, okay? So just letting you know, you're being recorded. Everything that you say can be used against you.
Okay, yes, ma'am. No, I just want to know, like, is the charges going to be dropped? Is it going on my
I don't
record?
make that decision.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
state attorney's office makes that decision. So that's up to them. So they'll be contacting Miss Penny, and I'm sure they'll get her input in whatever she wants to see happen. But as the judge, I don't get to make that decision, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I'm ordering non-hostile, non-violent contact. So that means no pushing, shoving, biting, kicking, scratching, getting in her face, being disrespectful, saying mean things to her. If you get upset, you walk away, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You're also to comply with any Department in Children and Families investigation. I do see that they were contacted. You're not to possess weapons or firearms or any ammunition, and I am placing you on pretrial release, okay? Thank
Okay.
you, sir. All right, good morning. Tell me your name.
Heather Monrovic.
All right, Ms. Monrovic, you're here in 2020 MM 8555AO. You're arrested for domestic violence battery. I do find that there's probable cause. Based on your income, you're not going to qualify for the public defender, okay? So I can't appoint them to represent you today. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Were you sworn in earlier?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then I'll just need you to get a little closer to the microphone. I know it's
Okay.
uncomfortable, but can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Eric Gray, Gray.
All right, thank you, Mr. Gray. And Ms. Bush, did you wish to inquire?
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Mr. Gray.
Good morning.
What is your relationship with Ms. Monrovic?
Heather's my girlfriend?
And you all live together?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you afraid of her?
At times.
And are there circumstances that surround the times that you are afraid of her?
Alcohol.
Okay. And while this case is pending, would you feel comfortable if she's allowed to have contact with you?
I'd like limited contact and not have access to my personal computers, my phone, things that she goes into. And I would like to not reside in the same residence.
Okay. So you don't want her to return, you don't feel comfortable or safe having her return to the residence?
Yes, ma'am.
I have no further questions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, and so, Mr. Gray, does she reside at the resident? I mean, is this her residence as well as yours?
Yes, ma'am. We've been living together for 2.5 years, or it's almost 3
Okay.
years.
So if I order her to maintain a separate residence, I'm gonna give her one time to go back with law enforcement to get her things, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
In terms of limited contact, I mean, if you're at the residence, she cannot be there. So then she would not have access to those things that you're referencing that you do not want her to have access to. If I allow you to have contact, okay, it's non-hostile, non-violent contact. But that, and I'll put in there that she can't go back to the home only with law enforcement, okay?
Yes,
to get her
ma'am.
things. But if it's her residence as well, if you're there, she can't be there.
Okay.
The problem is that I can't order her not to touch your stuff. I mean, do you want non-hostile contact or do you want no contact?
Non-hostile contact,
Okay.
please.
And no alcohol or drugs, because I'm guessing that
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
what's causing some of these issues. Okay, all right, now that I understand, okay.
Thank you.
All right, so, ma'am, I am gonna order non-hostile, non-violent contact. So that means no pushing, shoving, biting, scratching, getting in his face, saying mean things, being disrespectful, okay? I'm gonna order that you maintain separate residences. I know that you're living there as well, so I'm gonna give you an opportunity to go back with law enforcement to get your personal belongings, okay? And I can put in the order that she's not to touch your phone or any of your personal belongings, but if you guys are together at a restaurant and she grabs your phone, I mean, it's one of those things, so.
Understand.
Okay. All right, so, not to possess weapons or firearms or any ammunition, and I'm gonna place you on pretrial release. Make sure you don't violate any of those court orders. If you do, it's a violation and it's a new law offense, okay?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
Your Honor, I
Yes.
wasn't sure if I heard no alcohol or
I'm
drugs.
sorry, and no alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription. Thank you, Ms. Bush. I forgot to mention that, okay? All right. Thank you, Mr. Gray.
Thank you.
Any of the victim's personal belongings. Good morning.
Good morning.
Tell me your name.
Babita Sharma.
All right, Ms. Sharma, you're here in 2020 MM 853280. You're arrested for domestic violence battery. I do find that there's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in your case. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Were you sworn in earlier?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then tell me your name and spell your last name for me, please.
My name is Ramnarayan Sharma, Sharma.
All right, thank you, Mr. Sharma. And Ms. Bush, did you wish to inquire?
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Sharma.
Good morning, ma'am.
How long have you been in a relationship with Miss Sharma?
We've been married for 14 long years.
How many?
I could take this up.
You need to keep that up.
We've been married for 14 long years.
14?
Yes.
And are you afraid of her?
At no time, ma'am.
Do you want to have contact with her?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you feel safe if she's allowed to return home?
Yes, ma'am, at all time.
Over those 14 long years, has there ever been any violence in your relationship?
None of a kind, ma'am.
Is there any?
It's the force.
I'm sorry?
I said this is the force, and it was a stupid mistake.
Do you believe that alcohol or any kind of substance might have contributed to her behavior?
No, ma'am, she don't drink alcohol or smoke cigarette or anything like that.
And does anyone else live with you all in the home?
Yes, ma'am, we have 4 beautiful children.
And do you have any concerns for your children's safety?
No, ma'am, at no time.
And if something like this were to happen again, I know you said this is the first time,
Yes, ma'am.
but if it were to happen again and you felt that your safety was threatened or the children's safety was threatened, would you call law enforcement?
Yes, ma'am.
I have no further questions. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Thompson?
No questions, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, could I just please say something?
Sure.
Could I just please say something before you make any
I
decision?
can't hear you, sir.
Could I please say something before you make any decision with her?
Sure.
Okay, this all was my fault. We went to a birthday party at our neighbor. I got too much for our drinks. I leave and went home, and she came afterward, and my little 2 years baby was crying, and I got upset because she was crying, and I was nagging on her, and she got upset with me, and she had a diaper bags where you use the diaper like for the kids, like for wipe the kids when you clean them. And she just smacked me in the head with the plastic bag and said, "Go to your bed and sleep." That was all. It wasn't like nobody physically fighting, nobody was beating on each other or nothing. But when the officer came, I told him, I'm not going, I don't want no problem. I'm not going, I don't even give a statement or anything, so I don't want any problem with this. That is the first time, and she was innocent. It wasn't her fault.
Okay, well, the state attorney's office will be contacting you, okay, about the case.
Okay.
Ms. Sharma, do you want to have contact with Mr. Sharma?
We live together.
I'm sorry?
We live together.
I know, but do you want to have contact with him?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, so, Ms. Sharma, I'm ordering that there's non-hostile, non-violent contact. So that means no pushing, hitting with anything, biting, scratching, getting in his face, saying mean things, being any, if you get upset, walk away, okay? Can you do that?
Yes, ma'am.
No weapons or firearms or any ammunition. I do note that the Department of Children and Families was contacted, so if there is an investigation, you must comply with that investigation. I am going to place you on pretrial release. Make sure you comply with my order as well as pretrial release, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sharma.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Tell me your name.
Angelo Francis.
Mr. Francis, you're here in 2020 CT 3547AO. You failed to appear for a status hearing. This is a driving while license suspended or revoked with knowledge. Does he have the public defender? No? Okay. You do have a bond of $500. I was looking at your driving record to see if we would be able to resolve this case today. You have 2 driving while license suspended convictions in 2018. So if you pled today to this, you would get habitualized, okay? And that means that you would lose your license and the ability to get your license for 5 years. So I don't think that that's something that you'd want to do today, okay? So I can't modify the bond, so the bond will stay at $500, okay? Okay.
I can speak. I was in the midst of getting my license fixed.
Right, and so if you go and do that, you may have an opportunity to resolve the case downtown in a different way, okay?
Yep.
But, do you want me to see if you qualify for the public defender?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Okay, are you working right now?
Yes, ma'am.
And then do you get paid weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly?
Bi-weekly.
What's your paycheck after taxes every other week?
It'd be between $800, $700, $800.
So we'll say $700. And then, do you have any dependents?
2.
And do they live with you?
No, ma'am.
No. Do you pay child support?
No, ma'am.
No? Okay. Okay, you do qualify for the public defender. I'm gonna appoint them to represent you. Don't miss court again. I'm just letting you know, if you miss court again, the judge may set your bond at none, and then you'll be sitting in jail, okay?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So try to get your license back. It's important, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning. Tell me your name.
Tyrone Lewis.
All right. Do we know what happened to Lauriston Mitchell? Bonded? Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Lewis, you're here in 2020 CT 367AE. You're arrested for failing to appear for a pretrial conference. The judge did set your bond at $1,000. Does he have the public defender? No? Okay. All right. So Mr. Lewis, you don't have a criminal history, as far as I can tell. You have one driving while license suspended. It looks like you pled in Seminole County about a year ago.
About so.
So, I don't know, Ms. Bush, did you have an offer? Did you want to try to resolve your case today, Mr. Lewis, or did you want to go back to court? You do have a $1,000 bond, and I cannot modify that, okay?
Okay.
So what do you want to do? Do you want to try to resolve your case today, or do you want to go back to court to see what you can work out with the state?
Last time that I was in court, they told me to get my license fixed.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I finished everything to get it fixed. I paid off my tickets and everything I had to do with my license getting suspended. So.
Okay, well, I'm showing that you still have, I don't believe that they've all been paid off, but are you going to be able to pay the $1,000 bond?
I have to ask my uncle.
Okay.
Probably.
Do you want me to see if you qualify for the public defender? Because you don't have an attorney.
I guess.
Okay. Are you working?
No, not right now.
Do you get any income from any source?
No.
No? Okay. All right, I'm gonna appoint the public defender to represent you based on your testimony. Yeah. So, Mr. Thompson, I don't know if you wanna try to talk to Ms. Bush about anything. It's a financial suspension. And he has really no prior anything going on here. He got a withhold on the prior Dwellis, but which was also financial.
Was it criminal or civil? Does it say that?
It was an adjudication withheld. My guess is it was criminal. It doesn't say, so I don't know. But you don't need to be convicted on Dwellis's to get. It's not like a theft.
Yeah.
So it's still a conviction under the statute. That's what I'm saying. So maybe there's something that could be worked out today.
Mr. Thompson, my recommendation is if he feels that he has resolved all of his outstanding, which apparently he hasn't yet, perhaps he wants to get his license straightened out and see if the state would do a no valid DL so he doesn't get another Twillis.
Which I agree, I guess the problem is now, get out of jail, can't go there, or get out of jail.
Can his uncle afford $100, 10% off? But I think the better would be the other, so.
If you get your uncle. What's your uncle, you know your uncle phone number? What's the number? 561. 561. 388. 4389. What's his name? All right. I know a bail boxman, so I'm gonna call them right after court. And I'm going to tell that bail boxman to contact your uncle. If you could come with $100, they'll probably get you out. If you, get your license. That's what I would recommend. As soon as I get out of court, I'm gonna call the bail boxman and tell him to hook up with your uncle down and give him your information. All right? Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, what do you guys want to do?
We're just gonna take the bond.
Okay, so I'll stay the bond, and I did appoint the public defender, so you have an attorney, and I would talk to them about anything that you need to do to get your license back, or with regards to the case, okay?
Okay.
All right, good luck, sir.
Thank you.
And then Rodriguez bonded.
What was the name, Your Honor?
Shayana Rodriguez, okay, we'll take no action. Oh, and is this, oh, that was her? Okay.
And I'm gonna write it on the paperwork.
That's what they said. Yeah, it didn't have a face sheet, so usually that means they bonded. Good morning. Can you tell me your name?
Bryce Rosignol.
Mr. Rosignol, you're here in 2020 CT 7379AO. You're arrested for DUI. I do find that there is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, no contact with any witnesses in the case. Where are you? Are you living in Orlando?
No, ma'am, I live in North Carolina.
Okay. And are you just visiting?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna set your bond at $500, so I've reduced it by half, okay?
Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Good morning, tell me your name.
Dion Tenney.
Mr. Tenney? All right, you're here in 2020 CT 7383AO and 2020 CT 7385AO. And you were arrested for driving while license suspended and an expired tag over 6 months. And there is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in your case. Ms. Bush, did you have an offer? I'm looking at the driving history. I don't see any prior driving while license suspended offenses.
Hey, Your Honor, I'm also showing that he has 0 criminal history.
Right, but I can't change the charge, Mr. Thompson, so I can impose the, do you want to talk to your client, see what he wants to do? He's out on bond for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
And I just want to check and make sure that.
Okay, so I don't know if he wants to resolve, I'm not going to revoke the bond today, okay, for these charges, but Mr. Tenney, if you come back again, it might get revoked. But if you wanted to try to resolve him today, then we might be able to do that. It's up to him, but. It's just failing to pay,
You can resolve if you want to, it's up to you, but if you resolve. Your Honor, we'll take the bonds, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, so I'm gonna stay the bond at 500 and 100, no driving without a valid driver's license. Mr. Tenney, if you come back again and you're out on bond for a driving offense and then an ag assault, it's probably not gonna be a good day. So make sure you comply with the court's conditions. I did. And I'll take no action on the other things.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good morning, tell me your name.
Dwayne Coe.
Mr. Coe, you're here in 2020 MM 8550AO. You're arrested for petty theft. I do find that there is probable cause. And Ms. Bush, did you have an offer?
Yes, Your Honor. Just making sure he wasn't on probation. It's an adjudication of guilt, 5 days Orange County Jail, 2 days credit time served. No return to the scene, which is the Walmart at 11250 East Colonial Drive. No contact with victim or witnesses. Abide by all trespass warnings, and I just need to see if all items were recovered and make sure that they were non-perishables. It appears that everything was recovered.
Okay.
And so court costs in addition to that.
Mr. Coe, did you want to accept the state's offer and resolve the case today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so I have to explain to you that the offense of theft is an enhanceable offense. So every time you get it, it gets worse, so it enhances. So this is a petty theft. If you get another one, it can be charged as petty theft 1 prior, which is a misdemeanor of the 1st degree. And then if you get 2 prior convictions and you get a 3rd arrest, and they charge that, they can charge that as a felony.
Yes, ma'am.
So knowing that, do you still want to go forward with the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and it's an adjudication of guilt, no return, no contact with any victims or witnesses, no abide by the trespass warning, and court costs, and it's 5 days with credit for the 2. I think that would get you out, not tomorrow, but the next day.
So that'll be out Friday.
Is today Wednesday? Then Friday, yes. I don't know what today is. Okay.
Me
All right.
neither.
Mr. Coe, did you read the plea form?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Did you understand everything that was on the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes.
And are you on probation anywhere?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
All right. I do find that there is a factual basis to accept your plea based on the affidavit in the court file. I'll adjudicate you guilty. Sentence you to 5 days with credit for 2 days time served. No return back to the Walmart at 11250 East Colonial Drive. No contact with victims or witnesses, and abide by any trespass warnings. There are court costs. I'll order that you pay those by December 2nd, 2021. If you'd like to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you, sir. I hope you get some help.
Thank you.
Good luck.
I need some medical help too. I got staples in my head and a pacemaker and everything else.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Good morning. Tell me your name.
Patrick Finn.
All right. Mr. Finn, you're here in 2020 MM 985 AW. You're arrested for battery. I do find that there is probable cause. Did you fill out a form for the public defender, Mr. Finn?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'll appoint them to represent you in your case. You're not to have any contact with any victim in the case. And so if, I think that you're all living in the same residence, so. Okay, I'm just gonna order that you maintain a separate residence. If you need to go back to the residence and the victim's present, you'll need to go with law enforcement to get your things. No weapons or firearms or any ammunition.
Hold on,
He has a competency case in Osceola County, and it's 2020 MM 1599. I think that the PD represents him in that case. Can I order him into can I order him into pretrial release?
Not without open case, Your Honor.
Huh?
Not without open case.
Okay, so Mr. Finn, I'm gonna release you on your own recognizance. I'm gonna order that you get in touch with the public defender within 24 hours of your release. Do you understand?
Correct.
Okay? It's very important that you do that, so they know how to get in touch with you and you don't miss any court dates, okay?
Can you write this down? Because I have mental illness.
I know, it's gonna be in the court minutes, okay? And you're gonna get a copy of that, and Mr. Thompson's gonna give you their phone number, so you can call them,
Okay.
okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you, and I'm not taking any action on the out on release case. And Felicia Jones bonded, 2002-6241. Okay, she was released ROR by pretrial.
And Ms. LaCoya is a refusal.
Okay. All right, Mr. Lacayo is a refusal. I'm gonna find her refusal to be a waiver. Appoint the public defender, 2020 MM 8534AO. It's trespass on property after warning. There is probable cause. She's not to return back to the location where she was trespassed from. She's not to have any contact with victims or witnesses, and she's to abide by the trespass warning. I only have one case. Is that correct?
Yes, the other one was an endorsed case.
Okay, all right, but I don't have that before me today.
No, Your Honor.
I saw 2 case numbers there, okay. So, I'm gonna stay the bond at the 500, I'm not taking any action on the other cases. Good morning, tell me your name.
Good morning. My name is Charles Roger Lee Jr.
All right, Mr. Lee, you're here in 2020 MM 8394AO. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant for petty theft. And I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in that case. So there you're not to return back to the 4313 East Colonial Drive, the AT&T store. No contact with any victims or witnesses in the case. That bond will stay at 500. There's also 2020 MM 8556AO. It's possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. I'm gonna ROR on that case. All right, I'm not taking any action on the out on bond case, but Mr. Lee, you've got 3 cases now, okay? So I would be very careful, because if you come back, they're probably gonna get revoked, okay?
I appreciate that. Will I be released today?
If you have a bond, so
Okay.
you'd have to pay the bond on, I ROR'd you on the possession of cannabis, but I stayed the bond on the petty theft, and I took no action on your other case, so you have no holds, so you'd still have to post the bond, okay?
Okay.
All right.
How many days would I have to serve in order to fulfill, like, to have time served?
Well, I don't know, Ms. Bush, did you have an offer? I didn't
No,
think
Your
that you would, okay.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so the state does not have an offer for you today on that case, okay? So if, without posting the bond, your attorneys would file a motion for a 33-day motion once you've served, and if they haven't filed an information by that time frame.
Yeah.
So I've appointed the public defender, so any legal advice that you need, you'll need to contact them. Mr. Thompson? He has some questions, and I don't want to give him legal advice, okay? They never put the charge.
It'll be in my office, but it'll be somewhere else. So they can't contact me. I'm gonna tell them. And, or they might call you in the blue box back there. We could make a motion for it downtown, but if you're in the listening, that's not it. You're not gonna do that. All right.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you. You have a great day.
Good morning, tell me your name.
James McNaughton.
All right, Mr. McNaughton, you're here in 2020 MO 1280AO. You're arrested for an open container violation. I do find that there's probable cause. Ms. Bush, did you have an offer?
Yes, Your Honor. It's an adjudication of guilt, 2 days Orange County Jail, 2 days credit time served and court costs.
Mr. McNaughton, did you want to accept the offer?
Yes.
Okay, did you read the plea form?
That this one?
Well, it's the form that talks about rights that you're giving up by entering the plea.
Yes.
Okay, did you understand everything on that form?
No, I can barely read it, and I need glasses, so.
Okay. Do you need somebody to read it to you?
Well, no, I get the gist of it.
Well, I don't want you to get the gist of it.
Well-
So, Mr. Thompson, I'm
I don't
gonna
wanna hear-
appoint your office, and if you could go over the form with Mr. McNaughton, I'd appreciate it.
Thank you, Your Honor. We'll, set the state's offering into plea. contest.
Okay, so Mr. McNaughton, did you understand everything that was on the plea form?
Yes.
And all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No.
You understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes.
All right, I do find that there's a factual basis to accept your plea. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days with credit for 2 days' time served, and pay your court costs by December 2nd, 2021. If you'd like to appeal the judgment sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you.
Okay.
Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning. Tell me your name.
Leslie Marlowe.
Miss Marlowe, you're here in 2018 CF 17966AO. You're arrested pursuant to a violation of probation warrant. The judge did set your bond at none. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You'll see Judge Whitehead in a couple days for your arraignment, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Tell me your name.
Jose Manuel Perez.
All right, Mr. Perez, you're here in 2019 CF 10503AO. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant for a violation of probation. The judge did set your bond at none. I'm going to appoint the public defender. You'll see Judge Whitehead in a couple days for your arraignment. All right, thank you, sir. Good morning. Tell me your name.
Gerald Dale Roddenberry.
All right, you're here in 2017 CF 1975AO. This is a violation of probation warrant. The judge did set your bond at none, and I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You'll see Judge Whitehead in a couple days for an arraignment. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning. Tell me your name.
Chester Bell.
Mr. Bell, you're here in an out-of-county warrant, I'm sorry. It's an out-of-county warrant out of Osceola County, and the judge did set your bond at none in that case. I'm gonna appoint the public defender to represent you, and you should get transported. I'm not taking any action on the other case, okay?
How much is the bond?
It's no bond right now. I've appointed the public defender. They should come and get you from Osceola. I took no action on your other case, okay?
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Good morning. Tell me your name.
Vanessa Janae Bridget McFarland.
All right, Ms. McFarland, you're here on a Brevard County warrant. You do have a $500 bond. And I'll appoint the public defender here to represent you in your case, but you have a bond, so if you're able to bond out, you should bond out. If not, I think Brevard is coming and picking people up, okay?
Okay, if I pay the bond, do they still have to come and get me?
No, if you pay the bond, you'll get out,
Okay.
okay?
And then I'll have to just get a new court date before Brevard, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Good morning, tell me your name.
Eric Singleton.
Mr. Singleton?
Yes.
Okay. All right, you're here on an out-of-county warrant out of Palm Beach County. The judge did set your bond at none in Palm Beach County. And I'm gonna appoint the public defender here to represent you as well. And so we'll reach out to Palm Beach County, but they should come and get you. It's just sporadic with the pandemic. You do also have reporting requirements, so I don't know if you need to do that once you get there, or how you report, okay? All right, just make sure you comply with those reporting requirements. Good morning.
Good morning.
Tell me your name.
Yoshi Williams.
Ms. Williams, you're here on an out-of-county warrant out of Manatee County. The judge did set your bond at none in Manatee County. And so I'm gonna appoint the public defender here to represent you in your case while you're here. They should come and get you from Manatee County. I'm not taking any action on your out-on-bond case.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, and then I had a status hearing for Latrina Hall.
She's medical, Your Honor.
Okay, so the public defender was previously appointed. Mr. Thompson, did you want to waive
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so this is a status hearing for Marion County Case 14 CF 1318. And per Judge Herndon, her bond is to remain at none. All right, and Ms. Bush, let me know when you're ready on the 33 days.
The state's ready, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, 2020 CF 9362AO, Thomas James Charles Burke.
A notice of non-filing on December 1st.
All right, that is granted. Oh, I got a sticky on me. 2020 CF 9505AO, Calvin Bernard Wells.
This case was consolidated with 2020 CF 009484AO and 9414 and 9415. And information was filed in that matter, and the state has the consolidated information and will provide it to the court and to defense counsel.
All right, that will be denied. Do you know when it was filed? Sorry. Oh, here we go. Thank you, Ms. Bush.
And I believe that was on December 1st, Your Honor.
Yes, thank you. Okay, 2020 CF 12862AO, Jessica Milagros Maldonado.
And information was filed on December 1st. Filing ID is 1174744119.
Denied. 2020 CF 13125AO, Susan Marie Powell.
Our calculations show that the 33rd day is December 3rd. Therefore, this isn't right.
Untimely.
Date of arrest was October 31st.
All right, that would be denied as untimely, can be refiled. All right, 2020 CF 9515AO, Calvin Bernard Wells.
This goes along with the prior consolidation into 2020 CF 009484AO, along with 3 other cases. The court has the consolidated information, and so does defense.
Well, it looks like there was a motion to withdraw, and the PD was provisionally appointed on 11/10/2020. So, and then there's a determination of counsel set in front of Judge Barber on 12/8 on the 2020 CF 4618. So, he's been charged twice. I'm gonna release him on his own recognizance on both counts in this case because he's already got the same case. And I'll appoint the public defender. So I'll make a note that the case has already been filed on.
And
Can I have the front page?
And Your Honor, I was just looking at our synopsis, and I see different names in the synopsis for the law enforcement officers.
Okay, well, I'm looking at the information. So the case that is here today is 13496. The information states Officer Robert Jones on April 10th, 2020. And then in the case that you filed on previously, 2020 CF 4618, it says Robert Jones, same officer, April 10th, 2020. And I pulled up the PC affidavit, and it says at the bottom of the affidavit, and then it has a warrant attached. It's this warrant from the other case, and it says at the bottom of the affidavit, warrant issued.
Okay.
So it's the same case. I read it a couple times. It's the same information in the same affidavit. So I don't believe that there's any, I think it was just a double filing. For whatever reason, they did an affidavit and a warrant and then submitted it to the state. So, it'll be ROR on that. All right. Good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Deontay Brown.
All right, Mr. Brown, you're hearing 2020 CF 14324AO. You're arrested for driving while license revoked as a habitual traffic offender, possession of fentanyl, and possession of heroin. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. No driving without a valid driver's license, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. The bond will stay at $2,500, $150, and $150. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Marlon Charles.
Okay, Mr. Charles, you're here in 2020 CF 14322AO. You're arrested for trafficking in methamphetamines over 28 grams with a weapon, possession of firearm by a convicted felon, possession of methamphetamine, and possession of ammunition by a convicted felon. I don't find probable cause for count 1 or count 3. The drugs were not tested.
Can I speak?
I do find probable cause for counts 2 and 4. And I'll appoint the public defender. Ms. Bush, did you want to be heard?
Yes, Your Honor. The state would ask the court for 24 hours.
Okay.
I've actually already put a call in.
Okay. So, the bond will stay at none at this time. Mr. Charles, this will be reset for tomorrow. Count 2, I'm gonna stay the bond at the $4,000. Count 3, the bond will stay at the $1,000, and that will be reset also for PC tomorrow. And count 4, I'm going to set at $150. no drugs or alcohol, no weapons, firearms, or any ammunition. So this will be reset for tomorrow, Mr. Charles, and the state will provide additional information as to the methamphetamine,
I
okay?
don't have no bond, so I still have no bond right now.
Correct, on count one. Mm-hmm.
Can I speak, man, first?
I would, you want to say something? I
Yes,
would
ma'am.
not say anything on the record about the case, but you can talk to Mr. Thompson, he works for the public defender.
The young lady confessed to everything in her car, and I just,
Your
know,
Honor, you want some more?
yeah. I wanted to speak to you, man. I mean, I just want to speak to you. She admitted on the whole defense, everything in her car is her drug, man. She admitted.
All right, sir, if you have a defense, that's something that you'll talk to the defense attorney about when you meet with them, but it'll be reset for tomorrow as to probable cause for the methamphetamine charges. Tell me your name, please.
Charles Edward Conklin, Jr.
All right, Mr. Conklin, you're here in 2020 CF 14303AO. You're arrested for possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of methamphetamine, and criminal mischief, over 1,000. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. No contact with any victim in the case. The bond on count 1 is 100. Bond on count 2, I'll stay that at 500. Well, I'll set that at 150, I'm sorry. And count 3, I'll stay at the 1,000. Good afternoon, tell me your name.
Jaquarius Costin.
All right, Mr. Costin, you're here in 2020 CF 14326AO. You're arrested for possession of methamphetamine. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. The bond will stay at 1,000. I'm not taking any action on the other case. Make sure you keep in touch with your attorney. Don't miss any court dates. Don't get arrested again.
What other case you talking about, ma'am?
You're out on bond or out on release for grand theft, third degree of a motor vehicle. So I'm not.
No, they dropped that, ma'am.
No, they did not.
They did not?
No.
I tried to go to court on that and they
Okay, well,
said,
you'll need to get with your attorney.
yes. And they did read my Miranda rights to me on this case.
Okay, well, they don't need to read you Miranda when you get arrested unless they're questioning you, sir.
They was.
Okay, well, that's a defense that you may have as to a motion to suppress.
moment,
But the
Your Honor.
more you keep talking about your facts of the case, the more you're going to hurt yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
In 2019 CF 14206 is out on bond. I'm showing that it was no billed on.
Okay, so there's no, I took no action on it.
Yes,
so-
I
okay.
know.
It's not, it wasn't in the system when I
I
looked,
just wanted
so,
to
okay.
clarify.
It gave a court, it had a court date of December something.
So sound good to go?
All right, tell me your name, please.
Timothy Leon Gaynor.
Do we know what happened to Barbara Fennel?
Mental health, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Fennel, I'm gonna appoint the public defender in both of her cases. Mr. Thompson, do you want to waive?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, 2020 CF 14321AO, it's battery on a law enforcement officer, possession of MDMA, and resisting an officer without violence. There's probable cause. She's not to have any contact with any victim. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, and no weapons, firearms, or ammunition. The bonds will stay at 2,500, 150, and 100. She's got 2020 CT 7360AO. It's a no valid driver's license. There's probable cause. And the bond will stay at 500. Do not drive without a valid driver's license. And if she qualifies for pretrial release, I have no objection to that. She's not been interviewed, so I have no objection to pretrial. Okay? Good afternoon. Tell me your name.
How you doing? My name is Timothy Leon Gaynor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gaynor.
Yes, ma'am.
You're here in 2020 CF 5905AO. You were arrested pursuant to a capias. The state did file an information charging you with fleeing and attempting to elude a law enforcement officer with lights and sirens activated, resisting an officer without violence, driving while license suspended as a subsequent offender, and driving under the influence. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in your case. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, and you're not to drive without a valid driver's license. You do qualify for pretrial release. I'm going to place you in pretrial release. Make sure you comply with the court order as well as pretrial. Good afternoon. Tell me your name, please.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Amir Garcia.
All right, Mr. Garcia, you're here in 2019 CF 15636AO. You failed to appear for a case or trial management conference on November 16, 2020.
Yes, ma'am. I didn't.
Did set your bond at 1,000. Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. I didn't know that I had.
Okay. And so you do have $1,000 bond.
Okay.
Okay. And I don't believe.
So it would be how much?
The judge said bond or pretrial release, but I don't think that, because you have does he not qualify? Because of the other case, or?
I guess due to him providing information, it states on the face sheet he didn't know his address, unstably housed, unemployed.
Okay, well, I'll just stay the bond at 1,000 or pretrial if they're able to qualify him at some point. You've also got 2020 CF 14316AO. It's destruction of evidence and possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. There's probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender. Did he have the PD in the other case? Okay. And so I'm going to set bond on count 1 at 500. Bond on count 2 will be ROR. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, okay?
Thank you.
All right, tell me your name, please.
Shannon Harrison. How you
All right,
doing?
Mr. Harrison.
Yes, ma'am.
You're here in 2020 CF 6990AO. You were arrested pursuant to a capias. The state filed an information charging you with written threats to kill or do bodily injury, and a judge found probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. You can't have any contact with any victim or witness, no weapons, firearms, or ammunition. Your bond will be set at $2,500. All right?
2,500. Okay. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Israel Hill.
All right, Mr. Hill, you're here in a couple cases, 2020 CF 14285AO. It's possession of MDMA, possession of a controlled substance. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. And the bond will stay at 1,000 and 150. Then you've got 2020 CT 7366AO and 2020 CT 7367AO. It's no valid driver's license and attaching a tag to a plate unassigned. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. The bond will stay at 500 and 100. Thank you, sir.
You can't hear? Yeah, I don't think you heard anything you said.
Okay. Do you need headphones, sir?
I can't hear it. That's what I was trying to tell you.
All right. Can you hear me now, Mr. Hill? Okay, you're here in two cases, 2020 CF 14285AO. You're charged with possession of MDMA, possession of a controlled substance. I did find that there was probable cause. I appointed the public defender to represent you. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. I stayed the bonds at $1,000 and $150. You also have 2020 CT 7366 and 2020 CT 7367. Those are no valid driver's license and attaching a tag to a plate unassigned. I found probable cause. I appointed the public defender. No driving without a valid driver's license, and I stayed the bonds at $500 and $100. All right, thank you, sir.
So how much they?
Tell me your name.
Nicholas Joseph.
Mr. Joseph, you're here in 2020 CF 14313AO. You're arrested for possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver, possession of cannabis more than 20 grams, possession of MDMA, possession of hashish, possession of drug paraphernalia. There is probable cause for those offenses. I'm going to appoint the public defender in that case as well as your other cases from the out-of-county. And so no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. I'm gonna stay the bonds at $1,000 and $150, $150, $100, and $100. You have a Polk County, out-of-county warrant. Your bonds are set at none in that case. And then you also have another Polk County warrant, and that is a $10,000 bond, and I've appointed the public defender for you in those cases. Tell me your name.
Christian Lopez.
All right, Mr. Lopez, you're here in 2019 CF 2715AO. In this case, you failed to appear for a status hearing on 11/18/2019. And I have a form for the public defender that you filled out. You make $1,500 every 2 weeks?
Every 2 weeks, yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
yeah, you're not gonna qualify. Did you not have the public defender before?
No, ma'am.
Okay. It looks like Mr. Oshevsky was representing you.
Yes, ma'am.
And then he withdrew. There's an order on his motion to withdraw, so he withdrew from the case. You had him as your attorney. There was an order granting his withdrawal from the case. You have an arraignment set for a determination of new trial date coming up on January 7th, 2021. So, I can't appoint the public defender because you're not gonna qualify, but you're sitting here at no bond, so I'm gonna appoint them, okay? You have an immigration detainer too. Okay, so, I have to advise you of that. So I did appoint the public defender, and so you'll have to get with them with regards to any advice as to the immigration detainer. And then they can also file a motion, to set bond with you, I believe, with Judge Wilson, okay?
Okay.
Tell me your name, please.
Ryan Mikowski.
Mr. Mikowski, you're here in 2020 CF 14319AO. You're arrested for possession of MDMA, possession of drug paraphernalia. There is probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. The bond will stay at $1,000 and $100. I'm not taking any action on the other case today. I'll let you know, though, if you come back, it's probably not gonna be a good day.
Wait, what happened now?
I'm not revoking your bond,
Oh, okay, I didn't hear you.
but don't come back, because chances are if you do, it will get revoked.
Okay.
Both of them. Tell me your name.
Savannah Miley.
Ms. Miley, you're here in 2020 CF 13479AO. You're arrested pursuant to a warrant for possession of fentanyl.
Yes, ma'am. May I say something?
I would not.
Whenever you're done, Your Honor.
I would talk to the public defender and
Okay.
don't talk to me about the
Yes, ma'am.
case, okay? I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Do you want to talk to Mr. Thompson?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. He's right next to you.
Right, Your Honor.
Okay. Is there something that needs to be cleared up?
She was just telling me that, the fentanyl was,
The what?
the, possession of fentanyl,
Uh-huh.
it was supposed to be a part of the same case with the petty theft.
Well, the fentanyl charge is alleged to have occurred
No, it didn't happen on before.
on November 4th, 2020.
I said,
Well, it says on September, I'm sorry, so that's when I guess they received, I don't know, the dates are weird here. So it's September 28th, 2020, which looks like the same date of the offense of the petty theft. They just put it in the warrant wrong. Okay. I wasn't gonna revoke your release anyway.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
But, so no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. The bond will stay at 1,000 and no action on the other case. But it was, the date was wrong in the warrant.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay.
All right, tell me your name, please.
Tabitha Parsons.
All right, Ms. Parsons, you're here in 2020 CF 11518AO. You're arrested pursuant to a warrant for dealing in stolen property, trafficking, and receiving money from a pawnbroker by false verification. And a judge did find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in that case, as well as your other two cases. One's an out-of-county warrant out of Seminole County. You have a $5,000 bond in that case. And then the other case is 2020 CF 14320. That's possession of MDMA and possession of drug paraphernalia. There is probable cause for those offenses as well. So on the drug case, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, the bonds will stay at 1,000 and 100. On the dealing in stolen property, you're not to have any contact with any victim or witness, not to return to the residence where the offense is alleged to have occurred, and that's the 1718 Brumley Road. No return to any pawn shop, and no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. That bond will stay at 2,500. Count two will be 150.
Ma'am, I'm indigent. I have no money to pay a bond at all. Like, I'm literally
I
going to be
can't
held for having nothing.
Ma'am, I can't change the bond out of Seminole, and I'm giving you the minimum bonds that we have on our bond schedule for the bonds on the two cases that you have. If you're unable to make those bonds, your attorneys can file a motion to modify the bonds with the trial judge.
Mr. Poole, his mental health, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna appoint the public defender. Mr. Thompson, do you want to waive Mr. Poole's appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
2020 CF 14300AO. It's aggravated battery causing great bodily harm. There's probable cause. No contact with any victim. No return to where the offense is alleged to have occurred. No weapons, firearms, or any ammunition. The bond will stay at $3,500. Good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Christopher Prado.
Mr. Prado, you're here in 2018 CF 11735CO. This was a Capias. The state filed an information charging you with attempted robbery with a firearm, an aggravated battery with a firearm, or causing great bodily harm. A judge did find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in your case. Not to have any contact directly or indirectly with any victim, witness, or co-defendant. No return to the scene, and no weapons, no firearms, and no ammunition. The bonds will stay at $25,000 on each count. Thank you, sir. Tell me your name, please.
Gabriella Solomon.
All right, Ms. Solomon, you're here in 2020 CF 14323AO. You were arrested for possession of methamphetamine with a weapon, battery on a law enforcement officer, and a sanitary nuisance violation. I find probable cause for counts 2 and 3. The drugs were not tested as to count 1, so I don't find probable cause at this time as to count 1.
And the state is requesting 24 hours, Your Honor, and has already made the request of the sheriff's office.
Okay, so as it relates to the because she does have a bond, so if she's able to bond out, she can do so. That bond will stay at $15,000. It'll be reset for probable cause for tomorrow as to count 1. Count 2 will stay at $2,500. Count 3, I'll reduce to $100. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, no weapons, firearms, or ammunition, and no contact with any witnesses or co-defendants in the case. There's also 2020 CT, is that a 7386? 7386. 7386. Driving while license suspended, there is probable cause.
I never knew my license was
All right, if you have a
suspended.
defense, ma'am, then you can present that to the information to your attorney, okay? I've appointed the public defender to represent you. You're not to drive without a valid driver's license. That bond will stay at $500. You also have 2 out-of-county violations of probation. One is out of, is it Volusia?
Yeah.
Okay. They're both Volusia?
Both are Volusia.
Okay. You have an out-of-county VOP out of Volusia and a second out-of-county VOP out of Volusia. And those bonds, there's probable cause for those, based on the PC that I found in the other case. Those bonds will be stayed at none at this time, and I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in those cases as well. All right, thank you, ma'am.
Good afternoon. My name is Emmanuel Smith.
Good afternoon. All right, Mr. Smith, you're here in 2020 CF 14325AO. You're arrested for trafficking in heroin over 28 grams, possession of heroin with intent to sell or deliver, and possession of cocaine, and possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find that there is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in your case as well. And you also have 2020 CT 682AE. You failed to appear for an arraignment in that case. Does he already have the public defender?
Miss, I had a question. Your
All right,
Honor,
I'll appoint them to represent you in that case. As it relates to the trafficking, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Mr. Smith, are you working?
ma'am, I was working, but I know for a fact after I missed today, I'm probably not gonna have my job anymore. But I was working with Area Wide Protective. It's like a flagging company. We help out Duke Energy and things like that, and sometimes like.
All right, as of right now, the bond is set at 1 million, Mr. Thompson, and that's the bond schedule. I don't see much history for him. Mr. Smith, you raise your right hand to be sworn in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You told me you were working, but you don't think you'll have a job after today.
Nah.
How long have you lived in Orlando?
My whole life,
Your whole
actually.
life?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, who do you live with?
Me and my girlfriend just got an apartment together, but the address that's on there is my mom's address. I'm kind of still on her lease right now.
Okay.
I haven't switched it over yet.
Okay, the Kappa?
Yes, ma'am.
That's your mom's place?
Yes, ma'am.
Will you get your mail there?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of why I didn't see that the court date, but I paid the other ticket though, but I never like
Okay,
received
well,
the
we
letter.
might be able to resolve that today, the traffic stuff, okay? But first I want to talk about your bond, okay? For
Yes,
the
ma'am.
trafficking. Do you have a vehicle?
Yes, ma'am. I have a Honda Accord.
Okay, I do see that on your affidavit. Is it 97 or
99.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you reached out to anybody about your bond?
I mean,
We had a chance to
honestly,
talk to
that wasn't
anybody?
even heroin. Like, I don't know.
I don't want you to talk about the
Yeah.
facts. We're not talking about that, okay? That's
Yeah.
not gonna help you. I just need to figure out what your bond should be, okay?
I mean,
All right, Mr. Thompson, do you want to ask him some questions? Because I don't want him to start answering my questions with non-answers.
All right, just answer my questions, all right?
yes, sir.
And speak to the judge. Do you have any money in any bank accounts?
No, ma'am.
Do you have any children?
Yeah, I got one on the way, honestly, but you know.
Do you support the mother as of right now?
Yes, ma'am. We live together. I pay bills.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna. Do you pay all the bills in the house?
Not all of them, but I pay a mass majority,
How much do you pay in bills every month?
like 700.
It's an attachment.
Do you have any other sources of income?
My job was the only one. I don't even.
What does your mother do for a living?
My baby mother.
No, your mother.
Oh, my mother. She's a CNA, I think. Yeah.
How much money do you think she could come up with to help you post your bond?
I don't even know, honestly. Probably like 500 at the most. I'm not
I
sure.
couldn't hear that, Mr. Thompson.
Probably like 500 at the most. I'm not sure. She probably can't even come up with that. She got her own bills and.
How many? Do you have any other family and friends in the area?
Yeah.
Can they help you post a bond?
I don't even, like what, $1 million bond?
How much money do you think they could come up with?
I'm not even sure, sir.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Bush, do you have any questions for Mr. Smith?
Mr. Smith, how long ago did you say that you moved into your own place?
Like I want to say 2 months ago.
About 2 months ago.
Yeah, I recently
And
did.
you said that you don't pay all of the bills,
No,
but you
ma'am.
pay most of them.
Yes, ma'am.
Who pays the balance of the bills?
Like the rest?
Yeah,
My lady and her sister, her little sister.
okay. And does the little sister live with you as well?
Yeah, we got a spot together, yeah.
Okay, and does your lady's sister work?
Yes, ma'am.
Does your lady work?
Yes, ma'am.
And what kind of work does your lady do?
She works at Dunkin' Donuts for now, but she finna start college in January. She just graduated.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, and about how much does she make a week?
I don't even know, honestly. think she
Okay.
get paid by
Where does her sister work?
Her sister works at Walmart.
So, and the three of you share responsibility for the bills,
Yes, ma'am.
correct? So, and you said your mother's a certified nursing assistant?
Yeah.
Where does she work?
I think she work. What's that place right behind the juvenile detention center? I can't think of the name. It's I think
Okay,
it's
well, she-
Penrose Center. I think.
Okay.
I think that's the name of it.
So, and does she rent her home or does she own her
Yeah, she
home?
stay in the apartment. We
She's
really
in an
don't got it
apartment?
like that. Honestly, I don't. You know.
Okay.
Just,
All right. I have no further questions. Thank you, sir.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Mr. Thompson, right now, I mean, there's a lot, I mean, it's right over the threshold here at weight amount, but that, I mean, the bond is what the schedule is, but, I mean, there's a lot of drugs here and different types of drugs. So I don't know what you're asking me to do as it relates to a bond. I mean, I'm probably not gonna keep it at the $1 million.
I would ask anywhere from $10,000 to $250,000, Your Honor, on the trafficking charge, and just have the rest listed as subsidiaries.
Okay, Ms. Bush?
Your Honor, I would agree with defense counsel at the $250,000 for the trafficking in heroin. The state would ask the court to consider subsidiary for count 2. Count 3, the state would ask the court to set at $1,000 and then subsidiary for count 4.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do, Mr. Smith, I'm gonna set your bond at $150,000 on count 1. Count 2 will be 150. Count 3, I'm going to stay at the 150 as set, and count 4, 100. Again, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, no weapons, no firearms, no ammunition. Do you wanna try to resolve your other case?
Which the warrant?
It's the attaching the tag to a plate unassigned.
Yeah. What was how? Like.
Do you want to try to resolve that today
Yes, ma'am. How?
with a, how?
Yeah. Like
With a
what's the
plea.
deal? What's the plea?
Okay.
Your Honor, if I may have just
Sure.
one moment.
So, your bail bonds, it'll probably about $1,500 to get out on that one. What? Did you say?
And that was a failure to appear for arraignment?
You go to DOC.
Yeah.
Because I don't have it in my system.
Yeah, it's an attach,
you gotta
it's
take that.
attaching a
You gotta
tag
take
to a
that.
plate unassigned.
So if, I'm just gonna pull it up in the clerk's system.
And it's just a traffic violation.
The state would recommend an adjudication credit time served.
Do we know how
Don't
many?
attach a tag.
2 days? Yeah, okay.
And Your Honor, I don't believe he has any adult history.
Well, he does.
Oh, he does?
Possession of a firearm by convicted delinquent, and he pled to that July 23rd, 2019. It's not a juvenile
Okay.
conviction.
I couldn't
It's
see
an
it.
adult conviction.
All right.
Yeah. So, if he wants to plea, I don't have a problem with him with the credit for time served.
You want to take that, please?
What for
Yeah.
That would be one less thing for him to have to worry about.
Yeah, it would be an adjudication, they'll find you guilty, credit time served.
the tag?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that.
He said he'll, will accept the state's offer into a plea of no contest, Your
Okay,
Honor.
and do we know, did he get a plea form? I don't, okay, we'll have you read the plea form, okay, Mr. Smith?
He doesn't have to sign it, right? No. Just read it. We're ready, Your Honor.
Okay, so Mr. Smith, did you read the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand everything that was on it?
Yes.
Okay, do you understand all the rights that you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I do find that there's a factual basis based on the criminal traffic violation in the court file to accept your plea. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days with credit for 2 days time served. Don't attach a tag to a plate. Attach a plate to a car unassigned. And I'll order you pay your court costs by December 2nd, 2021. If you'd like to appeal the judgment sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. If you can't make the bond that I set, you can have your attorneys with the PD's office file a motion to modify that, okay?
All right.
Good luck, sir. Tell me your name, please.
How you doing? Jose Vega Ortiz.
All right, Mr. Vega Ortiz, you're here in 2020 CF 13454. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant for grand theft third degree. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in your case. You're not to return back to any Kohl's department store, not to have any contact with any victims or witnesses in the case. The bond will stay at $1,500. I'll take no action on the other cases due to the dates of the offenses and the date of the offense in the warrant. I just want to put due to dates.
Yes, get your bond. Get your bond. You can bond out. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing right now, because we'll be recorded.
All right, is that it? All right, we're done for the day.
Sam Williams, 12292.
All right. And I'm going to provisionally appoint the public defender to represent you. I do find that there is probable cause with respect to 2 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, as well as 1 count of carrying a concealed firearm. With regards to the offenses, PTR, and the victim.
Yes, Your Honor. The victim would like to have contact and would like Mr. Harris to return home.
All right. All right. With regards to these offenses, as to counts 1 and 2, the court will set bond at $5,000 per each count. Count 3 will remain as previously set at $1,000. The court will require that as conditions of bond that you not have any hostile contact with the victim in this case. So, Mr. Harris, that means that you are not to make any threats, yell, scream, use profanities, even raise your voice towards this defendant. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir, but what is the first 2 counts?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
The first 2 counts. What is the first 2 charges?
The charges are aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. There's 2 counts of that, and count 3 is carrying concealed firearm.
How is that 2 counts?
I'm sorry?
How is that 2 counts?
Sir, based on the affidavit, there was a judge who found probable cause as to all 3 of these offenses. With regards to the additional conditions, the court will require that you not possess any weapons or firearms, that there be no all right, and those are the 2 conditions. Anything additional, State?
No, you took the wind out of my sails.
Okay. All right. All right, sir. Those will be the conditions of your release. All right. Ricardo Hill. All right. Sir, could you please say your full name and your date of birth?
Ricardo Armani Hill, June 24th, 1996.
All right. And, sir, I'm going to provisionally appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. It appears that a warrant was signed for your arrest with regards to your violation of probation. Bond, in that case, with regards to that warrant, was set at no bond and will remain set at that amount. You may contact the judge who's handling your violation of probation and request a bond from them. All right, thank you, sir. All right, Jeremy McNamee.
Your Honor, he refused to attend the IAs.
He refused? All right, the court does find
Yes,
that there
sir.
is probable cause with respect to this offense. And did he refuse to come to court this morning as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to find that the defendant has waived their right to appear in court this morning. Having found PCS to counts 1 and 2, court will set bond as follows. Count 1 will remain set at $3,500. Count 2 will remain set at $1,000. Conditions of bond would be that he not have any contact with the victim, not return to the scene where the incident occurred, and that he not possess or consume any illegal substances or any drugs or any medications without a valid prescription. All right, Kimberly McNeil. Yep. Yeah. All right. Ms. McNeil, can you please state your full name and date of birth?
Kimberly McNeil, January the 1st, 1999.
All right, and I will provisionally appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. With regards to the offensive battery, the court does find there is probable cause for that offense. With regards to release, PTR, were you able to make any contact with the victim?
No, Your Honor.
All right. With regards to bond, the court's, and does she qualify for PTR?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so the court will set bond at $1,000 with the following conditions. I'm going to require that you not have any contact with the victim in this case, Mr. Shields, that you not return to the residence, that you not come within 500 feet of his vehicle, his residence, or his place of work, or his person. Anything additional from defense?
Yes, if you can have a one-time pickup with law enforcement for her personal effects.
Any objection?
No objection.
All right, Ms. McNeil, you'll be permitted to return to the residence on one occasion to recover any personal effects, but you will have to be accompanied by law enforcement to do so. All right, ma'am? All right, thank you. Dana Mendoza Gomez.
Your Honor, she requires a Spanish interpreter as well.
All right, let's try one more time and see if we can recall the other case. Let's go back.
Hello, Cisco Unity Connection Messaging System. From a touch-tone telephone, you may dial an extension at any time.
All right, we'll have to recall this. All right, so next will be Jay Nazario. All right, sir, could you please say your full name and date of birth?
Jose Nazario, November 8th, 1980.
All right, Mr. Nazario, you're being held on an out-of-county warrant out of Volusia County. It's for a non-payment of child support. The purge amount was set at $570. That matter will need to be set before the judge in Volusia County to determine whether or not that amount needs to be reduced or whether or not you can pay it. So at this point, I'm going to take no action with regards to the warrant, and the judge in Volusia County will be contacted. All right, sir?
Thank you.
Yeah, it's the purge amount. No PD appointed because it's a writ, the attachment for the deed. Somebody's going to contact his judge in Volusia County. No, just leave it alone. Take no action. All right, Jose Orellana.
Your Honor, we require a Spanish interpreter as well.
Okay, we'll recall this.
What's on that?
The interpreter wall. All right. Louise Stratton. All right, sir, could you please say your full name and date of birth?
Louis Stratton, 42576.
All right, I'm going to provisionally appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. I do find that there is probable cause for the offense of felony battery. With regards to this offense, bond is currently set at no bond. PTR, was there any contact with the victim in this case?
No, Your Honor. There was actually no phone number provided by the victim.
All right, the court will set bond on this case. This is a felony. The court will set bond at $2,500 with the following conditions. You're not to have any contact with the defendant. You're not to return to the residence where this incident occurred. You're not to come within 500 feet of the victim, her vehicle, her residence, or her place of work. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Anything additional from defense?
Yes, Your Honor, defense is requesting a one-time law enforcement accompanying pickup.
All right, state any objections?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Stratton, you'll be allowed to return to the residence on one occasion to retrieve any personal items, but in order to do so, you have to be accompanied by law enforcement. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Russell Vaughn?
Your Honor, he refused.
All right, Mr. Vaughn waived his right to be present for an initial appearance. The court will provisionally appoint the public defender to represent him. This is on a failure to appear. Bond was previously set at $2,000. Bond will remain as previously set. All right, James Zimmerman.
Timothy.
I'm sorry, Timothy Zimmerman. Apologize. All right, sir, could you please state your full name and date of birth?
Timothy James Zimmerman, 5/5/1985.
All right. Mr. Zimmerman, I'm going to provisionally appoint the public defender to represent you. I do find there is probable cause with respect to the offense of petty theft with 2 prior convictions. PTR, he does qualify for direct PTR.
Your Honor, he does qualify for direct PTR. He did have petty theft, which he was found guilty for in May of this year.
All right. So with respect to this offense, the court's going to release you on direct PTR with the following conditions. You're not to possess or consume any illicit drugs, alcohol, or any medications without a valid prescription. You're not to return to the scene where the incident occurred. I'm also going to require you to submit to random urinalysis to be conducted by PTR.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Your Honor, for the urine analysis, will that be drug and alcohol or just drugs?
Drug and alcohol. All right, thank you, sir. Daniel Battle.
Your Honor, he refused.
All right, Mr. Battle has waived his right to appear for initial appearance. The court does find there is probable cause for the offense of providing a false name or ID. Bond was previously set at $1,000. Bond will remain as previously set. I will appoint the public defender provisionally to represent him. All right, and we're just waiting on our interpreter with regards to those pending cases. We'll just be on standby. All right, in Osceola, just so you all know, we're being told that the interpreter is going to take about 30 minutes. So we'll, as soon as we have the interpreter, we will start calling log back in and we'll start calling the remaining cases, okay?
Look for it, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. This is Dahlia Young. And ma'am, could you please state your full name and date of birth?
Dahlia Young, October the 30th, 1982.
All right, and for defense?
Morning, Judge. Tom Scott, Public Defender's Office.
Good morning. And for the state?
Brad Morris for the state.
All right. Ms. Young, I do find that there is probable cause for the offense of trespassing. I will appoint the public defender to represent you with regards to this offense. Is this something that you wish to resolve this morning, ma'am?
Yes.
All right, state, is there an offer?
Just give me one moment, Your Honor. I gotta review this. Your Honor, adjudication of guilt, credit time served, and court costs.
All right. So the state's offers an adjudication of guilt, credit for time served, which would be 1 day. Do you need a minute to speak with her?
Yes, Judge. Please. Judge, Ms. Young, she will enter not guilty. She doesn't want to accept the offer, Judge.
All right, the court will set bond, will reduce bond on count one to $100. Conditions of bond is that you not return to the scene where this offense occurred and that you not have any contact with the victim. All right. Antoine Harrison. All right, sir, could you please say your full name and date of birth?
My name Antoine Harrison.
And date of birth?
10/27/88.
All right. All right. I will appoint the public defender to represent you, and I do find that there is probable cause for the offense of trespass on property after warning. State, is there an offer on this case?
Just give me one moment, Your Honor. I'll make an offer.
Sure.
The nature of the charge. Oh.
Your Honor, just to be candid with the court, there's a few open cases on this in Orange County. They've been filed on. There's 20 mm 6811 AO, 20 mm 8241 AO, and 20 mm, which this one's not been filed on, which I believe this is the one today. No, never mind. But yeah, so there's multiple open trespass cases. I'm not sure if it's the same victim or not. That information is not in front of me. But the state's offer on this case would be an adjudication of guilt, 10 days jail and court costs.
All right. Would you like to discuss that offer with your client?
Yes, Judge. Judge, gonna not guilty. No,
All right.
this time.
With respect to this offense, the court will set bond at $100 on count one. Require that he not return to the scene where this incident occurred, not have any contact with the victim. With respect to his other pending cases, he was ROR'd. The court will revoke ROR on both of those cases. All right. Akin to Jones. All right, is the victim present with regards to this case? No, Your Honor. All right. All right, Ms. Jones, I will appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. The court finds that there is probable cause for the offense of neglect of a child, as well as battery domestic violence. With regards to this offense, the court will set bond on count one at $2,500. Count two will be set at $500. The conditions of bond will be that you have no contact with the victims in this case, that you not return to the scene where this incident occurred, that you maintain a separate residence, and that you not come within 500 feet of the victim's school, work, residence, or vehicle. Anything additional, defense?
Yes, Judge. Can she have a one-time return with law enforcement?
Any objection, state?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Jones, you'll be allowed to return to the residence to pick up any personal effects. You'll have one opportunity to do that, and you must be accompanied by law enforcement. Do you understand that? All right.
Your Honor, the state would request no drugs or alcohol.
All right. I will also require that you not possess or consume any drugs, alcohol, or any medication without a valid prescription. Okay? All right. Angel Moulton. All right, sir, could you please state your full name and date of birth?
Angel James Moulton, 12/17/1998.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, as to count one, the court finds probable cause with respect to that offense. All right, And it appears that as to count 2, he's not charged with kidnapping, it's false imprisonment, which is the 3rd-degree felony, according to the statute number cited in the report. So the court finds there is probable cause with respect to false imprisonment, and as to count 3, obstructing justice, tampering with a witness in a misdemeanor proceeding. The court finds probable cause for that offense as well. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Are the victims present on this case? All right. All right. And, yeah, I'll have her sworn in.
You raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name for the record.
Janie Lee Keeley Jordan.
I need you to speak up.
Sorry. Janie Lee Keeley Jordan.
A little bit louder, please.
Janie Lee Keeley Jordan.
All right. And, ma'am, what would you like the court to know?
I would like contact with Angel.
Do you have any concerns about your safety?
No, sir. I feel completely safe with him.
All right. If something were to occur, would you have any reservations about contacting law enforcement?
Can you clarify what that means? I'm sorry.
So if there was any incident similar to what previously happened, would you hesitate to call law enforcement?
No, sir.
State, do you have any additional questions?
Yes, Your Honor. Has anything like this ever happened before?
No, never.
And you feel safe and you feel that you have the ability to call 911 even though he tried to remove the phone from you?
Yes, and I don't know if I'm allowed, but I wanted to clarify. I was trying to call my friend, not 911. I was just trying to call a friend to kind of mediate us. But I would never hesitate if there was ever a problem to call the authorities.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Any questions, defense?
No, Judge.
All right. So this is what I'm going to do, Mr. Moulton. With respect to count 1, court will set bond at $100. With respect to count 2, court will set bond at $500. With respect to count 3, the court will set bond at $100. The conditions of bond will be as follows. You're not to have any hostile contact with the victim in this case. What that means is that you're not to raise your voice, scream. If you get in an argument, it's your responsibility to walk away. And you're especially not to put your hands on her without her permission. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm also going to require that you not possess or consume any drugs or medications without a valid prescription. Anything additional from the state?
Did you say no weapons or firearms, Your Honor?
No, I will include that as well. You're not to possess any weapons or any firearms
Yes, sir.
while on release on bond.
Yes, sir.
Anything additional from defense?
No, Judge.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, Emily Alfulla-Runcho. And I think this one, her son was gonna translate for her.
Do I need to sign anything?
For the
And then
victim.
What do I do?
Just follow the deputy.
Okay.
Yeah, I said that the son could translate for her. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, she can speak English.
Oh, the defendant needs a translator.
Yeah, she needs a hearing aid. Okay. She just needs to. Okay, we'll get her.
Oh, so the brother was gonna translate for him?
If I may.
Yeah.
The defendant needs the assistance of the headphones. The alleged victim in the case needs her son to translate for her.
Okay. Yeah. Emily Alfulla-Runcho.
Okay.
All right, ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you.
Yes, sir.
With respect to the offense of assault, domestic violence, the court will find that there is sufficient probable cause for that offense. I do understand that we have the victim present, and sir, could you please state your name? You're going to be translating for her,
Yes, my name is Isaac Olayemi.
and could you ask her to state her name?
Olubola Afolorisha.
Olubola
Olubola
Afolorisha.
Afolorisha.
All right, and what is her relation to the victim, to the defendant?
Ìyàwó ọmọ mi ni.
She said in-law. She said that is our son's wife.
Okay, so you're her mother-in-law?
Benny, yes.
All right, do you have any concerns for your safety if I were to release Miss Alfoloruncho?
Now, Ombirimpe, Toba File. She everything was okay.
Mi ò lè sọ ẹ̀rù ń bà mí o, torí àjà ló wà pa mi.
Right now, she's saying she can't say because she's scared that the only way she can be safe is from her, if she can promise her if she's going to be safe.
Does she want to have any contact with Miss Alfoloruncho?
Bushewa Ensign, Sheferi, Shefe dúró pẹ̀lú ẹ̀, do you understand me?
Mi ò dúró pẹ̀lú ẹ̀.
She said no.
All right, state any additional questions?
No, Your Honor, based on that testimony.
All right, defense?
No questions, Judge.
All right.
Your Honor,
So-
the state would just ask no contact.
All right, so with respect to the charge, the court will set bond at $500 on count one with the following conditions: you're not to possess any weapons or firearms, you're not to have any contact with the victim, you're not to return to the residence where this incident occurred, and I believe those are all the conditions. State anything additional?
And Your Honor, you said no contact?
No contact, no weapons.
There's
No
nothing else from-
return.
Nothing else from the state.
All right, defense?
We can ask for a one-time return, Judge, with law enforcement.
All right.
No objection.
All right, hearing no objection, the court will allow you to return to the residence to pick up any personal effects that you may have there, but you will only be allowed to do it one time with law enforcement present. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, Maurice Christopher? All right, and sir, could you please state your full name and date of birth?
Maurice Christopher, August 15, 1991.
All right, Mr. Christopher, it doesn't look like you qualify for the services of the public defender. I do find that there is probable cause with respect to this offense. Is there a victim present with respect to this case? Sir, could you please raise your right hand to be sworn in?
Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name for the record.
Deshae Robinson.
Can't hear you.
Deshae Robinson.
All right, thank you. And what would you like the court to know? So let me ask you a couple of questions. Do you have any concerns about having contact with Mr. Christopher? And if anything like this incident were to occur again, would you hesitate to call law enforcement?
No.
All right, state any additional questions?
Has anything like this ever happened before?
Yeah. But no.
You said, did you indicate yes? Okay. Did you call law enforcement when these things did happen?
Before, no.
Okay. Thank you, that's it.
All right, defense, any additional questions?
No, Judge.
All right, Mr. Morris, what are you requesting with regards to conditions of release?
Your Honor, the state would like to ask for no contact, no weapons or firearms, and no alcohol.
Let me ask one more question. Mr. Christopher, you said you did want to have contact, I'm sorry, sir, you did want to have contact with Mr. Christopher? You do not, okay. All right, Mr.
Qualifies, Judge, for pretrial release, Your Honor.
He qualifies for pretrial release?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right, with respect to release, I'm going to release you to pretrial release. These will be the conditions of your pretrial release. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to have any contact with the victim whatsoever. You're not to come within 500 feet of his car, of his home, his work, or his person. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms while on a release on bond. And those are all, anything additional from the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right, and sir, defense, anything additional?
Just a one-time return with law enforcement, Judge.
All right, any objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Christopher, you'll be allowed to return to the residence on one occasion to retrieve any personal effects, but you must be accompanied by law enforcement. Do you understand that? Okay. I need you to say it out loud.
Oh, yes, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, thank you. All right, Octavius Clayton.
Yes, sir.
All right, sir, could you please state your full name and date of birth?
Octavius Clayton, 10-9-78.
All right, sir, I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. I do find that there is probable cause for the offense of battery, domestic violence. Is the victim present? Oh, all right. All right, state, with regards to release, what are you requesting?
Your Honor, the state's requesting no contact, no return, no weapons or firearms, and no drugs or alcohol.
All right,
He qualifies for pretrial release, Your Honor.
all right. All right, Mr. Clayton, I'm going to release you on pretrial release with the following conditions. You're not to have any contact with the victim, which means you're not to come within, it additionally means you're not to come within 500 feet of her residence, her vehicle, her place of work, or her person. You're also to maintain a separate residence. You're not to possess any weapons or any firearms while released on bond. And defense, anything additional?
Just a one-time return with law enforcement, Judge.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Clayton, you can return on one occasion to retrieve any personal effects that you may have left in the home, but you'll have to do that accompanied by law enforcement. Do you understand that?
Okay, but but the residence is my residence.
All right. Well, at this point, you're going to have to maintain a separate residence. If the victim moves out, then you can return to that residence. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Marcos Cora Guzman. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Sir?
All right, sir, could you please state your full name and date of birth?
Marcos Cora Guzman, June 3rd, 1987.
Thank you, sir. A judge in this jurisdiction found probable cause with respect to the offense of battery. You do not qualify for the services of the public defender. Is the victim for this case present? All right. With regards to release, state.
Give me 1 second, Your Honor. I'm trying to. How do you spell the last name?
It's Cora Guzman, all
Okay,
one word.
I see it. Where's it? Okay. Your Honor, the state would request no contact, no weapons or firearms, no alcohol, no return.
All right. All right, with respect to this offense, the court will set bond at $1,000. Conditions of bond will be as follows. You're not to have any contact with the victim. You're not to return to the residence where this occurred. You are to maintain a separate residence. You're not to come within 500 feet of the victim's vehicle, her residence, her place of work, or her person. You are not to possess or consume any alcohol, and you're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Anything additional from defense?
One-time return with law enforcement, Judge.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Cora Guzman, you'll be able to return to the residence on one occasion to pick up any personal effects that you may have at the residence, but you'll have to be accompanied by law enforcement. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Isaiah Gaines? All right, sir, please state your full name and date of birth.
Isaiah Gaines Jr., 12/11/1976.
Thank you, sir. At this point, I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. With regards to the offense, the court does find there is probable cause for the offense of battery domestic violence. And we do have a victim present. Ma'am, could you please raise your right hand to be sworn in?
Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name for the record.
Larisana Garnett.
All right, and are you the victim in this case?
Yes.
All right, ma'am, do you have any concerns about having contact with Mr. Gaines?
No.
If an incident like this were to occur again, would you hesitate to call law enforcement?
Absolutely not.
I'm
No.
sorry, I can hear you.
No.
All right.
No.
State, do you have any additional questions?
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning. Has anything like this ever happened before?
No, and I honestly would like all these charges to be dropped.
I had trouble hearing her, Your Honor.
Could you repeat that?
No, and I would like all the charges to be dropped.
Is it true that on the day when you reported this, that you said that you've been battered in the past, but you never reported it?
No,
So you did not tell law enforcement that?
I did not state that, no.
Okay. Where would he be residing if he was released?
In Fort Lauderdale?
Not with you?
No.
Okay. No more questions, Your Honor.
All right. Any additional follow-up by defense?
No, Judge.
All right. Mr. Gaines, I'm going to set the conditions of bond as follows. Well, bond will be set at $500 in this offense. Conditions will be as follows. You're not to have any hostile contact with the victim. That means that you can have contact, but you cannot raise your voice.
Your Honor,
use
the state would
profanities.
request, sorry, Your Honor, the state would request no contact, given that, at least in the affidavit, she says that she has reported this multiple times and never called 911. That's just what's in the report, and that's what I have to go off of, what the officer said. Given that's happened in the past, the state would request no contact.
All right. And I understand that request. You could put your hand down. I understand that request. The victim has stated that she didn't make that statement, and I understand that the officer included that in his report. The court is basing its PC finding on that, but with respect to release, the victim is requested to have contact, so the court's going to limit the nature of that contact to no hostile contact. So again, as I was saying, you're not to use any profanities, you're not to raise your voice. If you get into an argument, it's your responsibility to walk away.
Yes, sir.
All right?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going to also require that you not possess any weapons or firearms. All right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Ladre Loving. Yeah. Are they here? Are you ready? Okay. All right. Sir, could you please state your name and your date of birth?
Ladre Lovin, December 1st, 1991.
All right, thank you. All right, I will appoint the public defender to represent you. And I do find that based on the affidavit, there is probable cause for the offense of battery domestic violence. We do have a victim present. Can we have her sworn in?
Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Please state your name for the record.
It's Kivia Brock.
All right, and ma'am, you're the victim in this case?
Yes, apparently.
Do you have any concerns about your safety if you were to have any contact with Mr. Loving?
No.
Would you hesitate to call law enforcement if there was an incident between the two of you where you felt you were in danger?
No.
All right, state any additional questions?
Same questions. Has anything like this ever happened before?
We had a heated argument before, but it was under false pretenses and the charges were dropped.
Did it ever become physical, or was
No,
it just
it
an
did
argument?
not.
Okay. Does he reside with you?
Yes, he does.
Okay. Thank you. No further questions.
All right, any follow-up?
Nothing, Judge.
All right. All right. The court will set bond on this offense at $500. The conditions of bond will be as follows. You're not to have any hostile contact with the victim in this case. That means you're not to raise your voice, you're not to use profanities, you're not to put your hands on her without her permission. If you all get into an argument, it's your responsibility to walk away. Do you understand that?
Understandable, Your Honor.
All right. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms while released on bond. So those will be the conditions. All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right. Is this the last one? Yeah. And this is the last of the, okay. All right. Sophomore, I'm sorry, Sophomphone Sayavong. I'm sorry, sir. How do you say your first name?
Sompon Savon.
All right. Somphong Sayavong. All right. Thank you, sir. All right, I will not appoint the public defender to represent you as you do not qualify. I do, however, find that there is probable cause for the offense of domestic violence battery. Is the victim present on this case?
No, Your Honor.
No? Okay. All right. State, with regards to release,
Your Honor, no contact, no return, and no weapons or firearms.
all right, anything additional from defense?
No, Judge.
All right, I'm going to set bond on this case at $1,000. The conditions will be as follows. You're not to have any contact with the victim in this case. You're not to return to the scene where this offense occurred. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms, and you're not to consume or possess any alcohol while released on bond. Actually, I'm sorry, he does qualify for PTR.
Yes, Your Honor.
So I'm gonna release you to PTR with those same conditions. So you won't have to post a bond, you'll be released to PTR, but they're gonna make sure that you're complying with those conditions, all right, sir?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor, how did you spell his last name?
I have it as Sayavong.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
All right. All right, let's see if we have our thank you. Let's see if we have our interpreters. Give me 1 second.
Hello, Cisco Unity Connection Messaging System. From a touch-tone telephone, you may dial an extension at any time.
We'll just keep going. All right. Okay. This is the first felony. Got it. Thank you so much. All right. Sir, could you please state your full name and date of birth?
Ishmael Alexander Porter, 11/20/1996.
All right. And with regards to this offense, I will appoint the public defender to represent you. There was a warrant signed where the judge found probable cause for the offense of robbery with a firearm. Bond was set at $20,000. The court will leave bond as previously set. The conditions of bond will be no contact with the victim, no return to the scene where this occurred, no weapons, and no firearms while released on bond. And those were all the conditions that were previously set on the warrant. All right,
Judge, may I approach Madam Clerk for the invocation rights?
you may.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Sir, could you please state your name and date of birth?
John Baker, November 11, 1992.
All right. Mr. Baker, I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. I'm going to find that there's probable cause for 2 counts of possession of firearm by a convicted felon, as well as $94 counts of possession of ammunition by a convicted felon. And I find that there's probable cause as to 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia. With regards to bond was previously set at $5,000 on count 1, $5,000 on count 2, $4,000 on count 3, $150 on counts 4 through 96, and $100 on count 97. Bond will remain as previously set with the following conditions. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms or ammunition while released on bond. You're not to possess or consume any illegal substances, drugs, or any medications without a valid prescription. All right. Sir, could you please, I'm sorry. All right. All right. Sir, I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Could you please state your name?
Domingo Colón Ortiz.
All right. And with respect to this offense, I do find there is probable cause with respect of count 1, possession of cocaine with a weapon. Count 2, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon.
Your Honor.
A weapon.
Oh, am I looking at the wrong? This isn't Bostain?
No, he's on mental health. He's not here.
Oh, Bostain is on mental health.
Yes.
All right.
So do you want to I-8 him or do you want to reset one of them?
What are they doing with the mental health cases? Are they resetting them or are they just?
No, they've been on the PD and waiving their hearing and then I-8 them.
All right. So with respect to Mr. Bostain, I apologize. I did appoint the PD to represent him. He's not present. Defense, do you want to waive his appearance and go forward with his initial appearance?
Yes, Judge, please.
All right. So the court does find that there is probable cause with respect to counts 1 and 2, as well as counts 3 through 10. The court will set bond on count 1 and will leave bond as previously set at $7,500. On count 2, we'll leave bond as previously set at $4,000. We'll leave count 3 as previously set at $5,000, and counts 4 through 10 will be reduced to $100 each. Conditions of bond is that he not possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition, that he not possess any drugs or illicit substances or any medications without a valid prescription. Anything additional from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Anything additional from defense?
No, Judge.
Your Honor, did you order no alcohol, or did you just restrict it to illegal substances?
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Domingo Colón Ortiz, is that you, sir?
Yeah.
All right. What's your date of birth?
June 22, 78.
All right. And I have 2 cases on this one. I will appoint the public defender to represent you in both of your cases. As to 2020 CF 14163, the court finds that there's probable cause for the offense of grand theft of a motor vehicle, count 2 petty theft, and count 3 possession of drug paraphernalia. I also find that there's probable cause in 2020 CF 12656 for the offenses of grand theft, 3rd degree, Count 2, larceny, coordinate others retail theft over $3,000. And count 3, trespass on property after warning. As to 2020 CF 14163, the court will leave bond as previously said on counts 1, 2, and 3. Conditions of bond are that you now return to the scene where this incident occurred, that you not have any contact with the victim, and that you not possess or consume any drugs, alcohol, or any medications without a valid prescription. As to 2020 CF 12656, the court will leave bond as previously said in counts 1, 2, and 3. Conditions will be that you not have any contact with the victim and that you now return to the scene where these offenses occurred. Ramon Harris. All right. All right, I will appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Harris. Mr. Harris has waived his right to be present at initial appearance. So the court will find that there is probable cause with respect to the offense of battery on a corrections officer. The court will require that bond be left as previously set. I mean, he's currently incarcerated, so the no contact is going to be up to corrections, whether or not they can manage that. I know you all are short-staffed, so to the extent that corrections can maintain no contact, will require that, and that he not have any hostile contact with anyone would be a condition of bond. All right. All right. John Hedridge.
Yes.
All right, sir, what's your date of birth?
10/29/88.
All right, I will appoint the public defender to represent you. The court finds that there is probable cause for the offense of petty theft with 2 prior convictions. With respect to bond, the court will leave the bond as previously set at $1,000 with the following conditions: that you not return to the scene where this incident occurred and that you not have any contact with any of the victims. Anything additional from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Anything additional from defense?
No, Judge.
All right. All right, Jonathan Larinaga. All right, sir, what is your full name and date of birth?
7/16/65.
All right.
Can I converse, my lord?
All right, and the court will appoint the public defender to represent you. I do find there's probable cause for the offense of count 1, possession of heroin, count 2, possession of drug paraphernalia, and count 3, alcoholic beverage, open container, a city ordinance. With respect to bond, the court will leave bond as previously set in count 1 at $1,000, in count 2 at $100, and count 3 at $250. The court will require as conditions of bond that you not possess or consume any drugs, alcohol, or any medications without a valid prescription. All right, thank you, sir. All right, Jacob Morales Colon. All right, sir, could you please state your name for the record?
Jacob Morales Colón.
All right. And what's your date of birth?
Noviembre 24 del 1991.
Sir, do you need an interpreter? ¿Necesita un intérprete?
No,
All right, then I need you to answer me in English.
ya.
What's your date of birth?
November 24, 1994.
Thank you, sir. All right, with respect to the offense of resisting an officer without violence, I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. With respect to the offense of resisting an officer without violence, I'm going to find that there is probable cause for that offense. With respect to possession of an anti-shoplifting device, I'm going to find probable cause with respect to counts 3 and 4, petty theft, count 3 being retail petty theft, and count 4 being just misdemeanor petty theft. The court finds probable cause. As to bond, the court will leave bond as previously set with the conditions that you now return to the scene where this offense occurred, that you not have any contact with any of the victims listed. You were also out on bond in 2020 CF 14175. The court will revoke bond as to that count, or as to that case. All right, anything additional from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Anything additional from defense?
No, Judge.
Your Honor,
Yes.
what was the case number that you revoked?
2020 CF 14175.
I have him as out on bond on two cases, 2019 CF.
Oh, I'm sorry. 2020 CF 10468.
He's also out on bond for 2019 CF 4684, Your Honor.
4684?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the court will revoke bond on 2019 CF 4684. Was he on ROR?
He
Right.
was on pre-trial diversion, and then they,
So I'm going to revoke ROR on 2019 CF 4684. All right, Riquelme Torres.
Sir.
All right, sir, what is your date of birth?
7/26/82.
All right, thank you. Sir, you do not qualify for the services of the public defender, so I will not appoint them to represent you. With regards to the offenses of battery on a law enforcement officer, count 1, and battery on a law enforcement officer, count 2, the court will find that there is probable cause for both of those offenses. I also find that there's probable cause for resisting an officer with violence, as well as disorderly conduct. As to these offenses, the court will set bond in the following manner. Okay. Court will leave bond as previously set on count 1 at $2,500. On counts 2 and 3, they will remain as previously set at $150, and on count 4, it will remain as previously set at $100. The court will require that you not have any contact with any victim, and that you now return to 1515 Worst Road, the Circle K referenced in the disturbance. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms while released on bond. Anything additional from the state?
Your Honor, that the state would request no drugs or alcohol.
Okay. All right. I'm going to require that he not possess or consume any alcohol, any medications without a valid prescription, or any illicit substances. All right. Thank you, sir. Luis Villanueva Rodriguez. All right. I will appoint the public defender to represent him. Mr. Villanueva Rodriguez has refused to come over, so he's waived his right to be present at first appearances. This is pursuant to a capias that was issued with a judge in this jurisdiction having found probable cause. The court will leave bond as previously set at $1,000 on count 1, $100 on count 2 with all previously imposed conditions.
Your Honor, the judge on that warrant gave him bond or pretrial release if qualifies. Are you maintaining the or pretrial release?
If he qualifies, and he qualifies, yes. Okay, so I'll release him on PTR with the conditions that he not possess or consume any drugs, alcohol, or illicit substances, and that he submit to random urinalysis.
Your Honor, for clarification, the judge said bond or pretrial release if qualifies. We spoke to him yesterday, and he did not qualify.
Oh,
I was
okay.
clarifying whether or not you wanted to delete the PTR or maintain that on.
Oh, no, we'll delete PTR. I'm sorry, I thought my
Your
sheet
Honor.
says that he did qualify.
What's the last name?
It's it's Villanueva Rodriguez. I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong sheet.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So we'll leave it as I said. Delete PTR, same conditions. without the random analysis. No, RU, it's PTR, right. All right. Floyd Williams?
Yes, sir.
All right. Sir, what is your date of birth?
7/27/61.
All right. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. This is pursuant to a capias where a judge found probable cause for your arrest. Bond was previously set at $2,500, and the condition that you now return to the scene of the offense, the court will leave the bond and conditions as previously set.
Your Honor, was that V?
Floyd Henry Williams.
Thank you.
All right. Ronnie Robinson?
Yes, sir.
All right, what's your date of birth?
1167.
All right, I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Sir, this is a pursuant to a capias that was issued with respect to a violation of a city ordinance. Can you make an offer on this? It's a city ordinance. Usually it's the county attorney who makes an offer, but
Your Honor, if it's a city or county ordinance violation, we don't really have any standing to.
all right,
We're not the one bringing the charges.
all right. All right, sir, I'm going to leave bond as previously set with the conditions previously imposed, that you not possess or consume any alcohol while released on bond. All right?
All right.
All right. Robert Arce? All right. Sir, what's your date of birth?
11/10/69.
All right, sir, I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. I do find there is probable cause for the offense of trespass on property after warning. State, is there an offer on this case?
Your Honor, just give me one moment. I will make an offer on this case. I just have to pull up his history. Give me one more, Your Honor. I'm just pulling up the most recent. Your Honor, state's offer would be an adjudication of guilt, 10 days Orange County Jail and court costs, and then no return.
All right. Defense, would you like to discuss the offer with your client?
Yes, sir.
I'll check after this to see if the interpreter's on there.
Judge, you'd like to take that offer?
All right. All right, do you need a second to go over the plea form with him?
No, I read it.
No, Your Honor.
All right. All right, Mr. Arce, you understand the state's offers an adjudication of guilt, 10 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 1 day time served?
2 days.
with 2 days credit time served. All right, that will include court costs and costs of prosecution. Is that the offer you'd like to accept?
Yes. Yes, Judge.
All right, are you under the influence of any drugs, medications, or alcohol?
No, I'm not.
Are you suffering from any mental illness or emotional disturbance?
No.
How far did you go in school?
I have a GED in college.
And you read and write in English?
Yes.
Did you read and review the plea form?
Yes, I did.
And do you understand the constitutional rights listed on your plea form?
Yes.
And you understand that by entering this plea, you're waiving the constitutional rights included on your plea form?
Yes.
Have you had enough time to discuss this decision with your attorney?
Yes.
All right, to the charge of trespass on property after warning, how do you plead?
I plead no contest.
And you understand that the maximum possible punishment for this offense, which is a first-degree misdemeanor, is 1 year in the Orange County Jail and fines of up to $1,000?
Yes.
And knowing that, are you entering your plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, I'm entering the plea voluntary of the 10-day offer.
All right. And has anybody forced or threatened you in order to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Has anybody promised you anything other than what your lawyer or the state has announced here today?
No.
And do you understand that by entering this plea, there will be no trial, and I will sentence you based upon that agreement?
Yes, I understand.
All right. Do you understand that if you are not a U.S. citizen, entry of this plea will result in deportation?
Yes, I'm a U.S. citizen.
All right. And do you understand that if you are pleading to a sexually violent offense or sexually motivated offense, or if you've been previously convicted of any such offense, entry of this plea may subject you to involuntary civil commitment as a sexually violent offender upon completion of your sentence?
Yes.
All right. All right, sir, I will accept your plea. I find that you're alert and intelligent, that you understand the nature of the charges and are represented by competent counsel. Based on the affidavit, I do find that there is a factual basis for acceptance of this plea. Is there anything you'd like to say before I impose sentence?
No, I do not.
All right, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 10 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. I will impose court costs and costs of prosecution, as well as the application fee for your public defender. I'm going to reduce all those fees, fines, and court costs to a civil judgment.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, Tyrone Thompson. All right, I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Thompson in this case. Mr. Thompson has refused to appear for court, therefore the court will waive his appearance at initial appearance. With regards to this offense, the court will leave bond as previously set at $500 with the condition that he now return to the scene where this occurred. He was on release in 2020 MM 8352. The court will revoke his bond in that case.
What was the case number on that?
That was 2020 MM 8352.
Thank you.
Revoking on that.
Okay, what did you say? I'm sorry.
He failed to, he refused to come over. Bond will remain as previously set with a no return.
And you revoked the bond?
Yeah, in the case number. All right, let me check to see if we have our interpreter, and we'll, so I'll call him in.
You want to finish those on the wall and then do it?
Sure. All right,
Let's say this out of count.
all right. Kelvin Marte,
Good morning, Your Honor.
good morning. What's your date of birth?
12/16/1985.
All right, and sir, it looks like you're represented on your other case. Are you asking the court to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case? Oh, this is the out of county. I apologize. All right, I apologize, sir. You have a warrant for your arrest out of Volusia County. The court will leave bond as previously said at no bond. However, the judge in Volusia County will be contacted to see whether or not a bond can be set. All right? So at this point, you're going to remain in custody until we hear from the other judge. Oh, as to, I apologize, as to 2019 CF 952, the court will revoke bond as to that offense. And as to 2018 CF 4012, the court will revoke bond as to that offense. As to 2018 CF 3823, the court will revoke bond as to that offense. So Those 3 offenses will have their bonds revoked.
Your Honor, for the record, Judge Morgan did already file for those to be revoked based on the new Volusia County case.
Okay, so we don't need to take any action on that. All right, Matthew Negron. All right. And sir, what's your date of birth?
November 23rd, 1998.
All right, and sir, you have I'm gonna appoint the public defender to represent you. You have an out-of-county warrant out of Osceola County. This is for a violation of probation where the bond was set at no bond. The court will leave bond that's set at no bond. Your judge in Osceola County will be contacted to see if a bond is appropriate. All right? And is that Charles Ragland?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Mr. Ragland, I will appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. All right, it looks like this was a reset. I do find that there is probable cause with regards to count 1, burglary of an occupied dwelling, and count 2, resisting an officer without violence. The court will set bond on count 1 at $5,000, count 2 at $100. Conditions of bond are that you not return to the scene where this incident occurred, that you not have any contact with the victim. Anything additional from defense?
No, Judge.
Anything additional from the state?
No, Your Honor.
I'm also going to require that you not possess any weapons while released on bond. We could just finish these up, there's only 2 left.
Okay.
Then we do all
You
that.
need
All right,
another 2?
there's only 2 more left that I see for non-interpreter. I have LaBoy and I have Sharapov. LaBoy?
The rest of it, the rest of it.
All right. All right, with regards to LaBoy, I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent him. Defense, do you wish to waive his appearance?
Yes, Judge.
All right, this is pursuant to a capias. Court set bond on count 1 at 0, count 2 at 0, count 3 at 0, and count 4 at 0. This is based on a failure to appear. The court will take no action. As to 2019's, well, this is a violation of probation. The court will take no action and leave bond set at no bond. He's VFOC. All right. Mental health. All right, finally, we have Farkhad Sharapov. Is he brought over? Or did he already bond out?
What did you tell the last name, Your Honor?
Sharapov?
May I?
Yep. Sorry.
He bonded, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. All right, let's see if we can get the interpreter. And if we have the interpreter, I'm going to take Osceola first, and then we'll do Orange. All right, good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor. Aldo Figueroa, State Certified Spanish Court Interpreter.
All right, have you been sworn in?
Not yet, Your Honor.
All right. Do you swear to accurately